Alrighty, that was alrighty. Had a little bit of trouble there getting the thing started up, but with that being said, welcome to the 16th episode of Coaster Time, hosted by me, Carrick from Coaster Hour. And if you are new, we do a lot of different segments on here where you, the viewers, can participate, such as news, trivia, Q&A, and discussions. I guess some of those you guys can participate in. And I'm also going to be bringing in some new segments, which is why I have brought back Jace from 808 Coaster Life. And for those who are, I guess, more new to the streams, because you haven't been on in quite a while, if you could kind of tell us a little bit more about yourself, that would be great.
Okay, first of all, I think people can hear me. Okay, so let's see. So my name is Jace, and I own and operate the YouTube channel 808 Coaster Life. I'm a coaster enthusiast from Hawaii, which is very difficult, especially right now. But I try to post every 2 weeks for now. Uploads are very scarce right now because of school, but hopefully that will improve once the school year is over. I also have an Instagram under the same name. I don't really post there either, but you can still follow me. And yeah. I think that's about it.
Alrighty. Yeah, I guess that's pretty much that. Tell us in the chat if the audio is good, and if we're good there, then I'm going to go straight into the news. And also, I'll say this right before we go into the news, because I mentioned this in the last stream, but because it was a draft, not a lot of people were actually watching it live. Funny enough, a lot of people watched it afterwards, which I found interesting, probably just for my reactions or whatnot, because I timestamped them. But speaking of which, I have timestamped every Coaster Time episode except for the first 3. So if you miss one of them, you can now go back and watch the parts you want to watch. No problem. I have timestamped them, and we'll be doing that for the future. That's also for those who aren't able to make it on when I go live. So just wanted to get that out there for those wanting to check it out after it's over. So with that being said, we're going to go straight into the news. We got a lot of stuff because I'm going to cover stuff that has happened. There's some more major stuff that happened after the stream I did, but not quite like 2 weeks ago, which is the range I like to do for the news. But yeah, we're going to go right into it. And the first thing I have is that we had several ride openings. We had Kondaa at Walibi, Belgium, probably being the biggest of the bunch. Of course, Intamin Mega Coaster. It looks absolutely incredible. I will say the ending didn't look as good as I was hoping, just from the POVs, but it still looks absolutely phenomenal. Then we also have Knott's Berry Tales at Knott's Berry Farm. I believe that just opened to the public yesterday, and it opened to other places beforehand. And then also we have Snow White's Enchanted Wish at Disneyland, which is a heavily modified version of the old Snow White attraction. And then Gangsta Granny at Alton Towers. So a lot of new rides there. There's even more actually, but those are kind of the big 4. And then the other 2 are Lego Movie World at Legoland Billund, which was supposed to open yesterday. If it didn't, then someone can tell me, but when I looked at it, it was supposed to open yesterday, so hopefully it did. And Harley Quinn Spinsanity at Six Flags America. Those are the ride openings over the last few weeks since I've done the last stream. A lot of rides and a lot of exciting stuff coming out. Ooh, that's nice. I just saw Stamford Bridge has actually talked to someone who's ridden Kondaa, so that's good to hear. I've heard it's an absolutely incredible ride. The next thing we have is Velocicoaster, which has soft open for pass holder previews. So technically it's sort of open, right? And actually it's been soft open a lot, even for non-pass holders, so that's good to see. I've heard amazing things about the ride. I've talked to, I've texted to some people who have ridden it, so I've heard nothing but amazing things about the ride, and it's running really well, and it just looks absolutely incredible. Definitely, depending on what happens with the SeaWorld coasters, very much a contender for the best coaster opening this year, which is saying a lot. So that's pretty crazy. Anything you want to say here, Jace?
I was really surprised by the theming, actually. Like, I knew the ride had like a lot of theming, but like especially the queue line was to me, very surprising how good it is.
Oh yeah, for sure. It was. Uh, yeah, I tried to avoid spoilers for the queue, but that didn't last super long because it was very hard to. I haven't seen the whole thing, but from the bits I've seen, it looks absolutely phenomenal. Next thing we have is that Yerevan Park. This is the largest park in Armenia, which was supposed to open in 2019 but got delayed for 2 years for various different reasons. Obviously, COVID was part of it, but there was other things even before that. Well, it just opened for the first time a few days ago. And this park, like I said, largest in Armenia. They have 4 coasters, including a Vekoma family boomerang, a junior coaster also from Vekoma, an SBF spinner, and a Zero ESC, which is a medium-sized coaster model. Obviously, this doesn't sound like too amazing for maybe some of us in the States, but for a country like Armenia, this is a pretty big opening. So nice to see them get this park after all this time. Next, we have Funplex at Myrtle Beach, which has opened. This is a park that is so small that an SBF Visa spinner literally, the park is inside of an SBF Visa spinner. Yes, it is that small. It does have about like 7 attractions and a restaurant. And the coaster it has is actually a spinner, but it also has the hamster wheel cars in the front. So that's pretty cool to see there. And it's got, like I said, a nice collection of flat rides, so that's pretty cool to see as well. It has almost as good of a collection of rides as Marineland, even though that thing is like 2 miles large or whatever. And this
Ouch.
is inside of a SBF spinner, so that's funny. But a nice looking park nonetheless. And I guess just another thing. Steel Curtain has reopened for the first time since 2019. This coaster has been plagued with just a ton of problems. So it's really nice to see it reopen. And it's interesting because a few people I've heard who've ridden it, they say it's really good. But I feel like its reputation is kind of hurt because barely anyone has ridden this coaster more than once. So it's kind of funny that way. Yeah, that's Steel Curtain for you, I guess. Next, we have Universal Studios Beijing. It will open to the public for the first time on June 1st. There was reports of a fire at the park. I don't think that actually happened, like a few weeks ago or something. I don't think that actually happened. If it did, I guess it wasn't too major. But this park, obviously, it looks absolutely incredible. The Kung Fu Panda area, the Transformers area, those are all going to be fantastic. Jurassic World area also looks fantastic. Definitely an exciting new park we will see open. Really excited to see it. Next thing I have is Monster will be opening on June 2nd with Gröna. And speaking of which, parks in Sweden are opening, I think, for the first time since 2019, I want to say. Generally around this time. But Gröna will be reopening as well, along with Monster, which will be opening for the first time. The B&M invert that had to be sandwiched in between everything, it seems like, because they have no room. But still pretty cool to see. Should be an exciting ride for those who are able to ride it. So that's
And the
pretty
restraints
cool.
look intriguing.
Yeah, I heard they had to do the over the shoulder instead of the vest because of the clearances. Because it was so tight. You know how the vest kind of... I've heard it might have had to do with the clearances.
Interesting.
Yeah. I hope not. I hope they just did it because they wanted to, but I kind of doubt it. The next thing is that Cars Road Trip. I had never even heard about this thing before I think saw it somewhere, but recently. But anyways, this is going to be at Walt Disney Studios in Paris. It will be opening on June 17th. It's basically a sort of reskin, retheme of the former Studio Tram Tour. To be honest, it doesn't look like anything too crazy or even that good, just from what I've seen. But I guess it's nice to see. I do really love cars, but just seeing like the little bits that I've seen of this attraction, it just feels like they could have done a little more with a cars themed attraction, especially when something like Radiator Springs Racers exists, but guess they had to use what they had to work with. So at least they're getting something, I guess. And then as for construction, American Drier Looping, this is obviously not it right now, but this is the only picture I could find of Chimera. But anyways, America Drier Looping at Indiana Beach has gone vertical. So that is good to see. We'll have to see when it opens, but definitely good news for its construction progress. And then Slingshot at Icon Park has also gone vertical. That happened, I believe, either yesterday or the day before. The drop tower, I don't believe, has gone vertical yet, but it should be very soon. I believe this is slated to open late this year. I don't know if we're going to hit that timeline, but whenever it opens, should be pretty crazy experiences for the park. So, yeah. Jace, do you have anything to say about any of the stuff I've gone through?
Not really, except for that I'm glad that the slingshot record is being broken, especially since slingshots are basically my number one bucket list flat ride. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah, I mean, and also it's nice that the record-breaking one is in a place where it's like you're gonna be nearby it because of all the other parks. Like if you go visit Orlando, it's not like somewhere in the middle of nowhere, so that's also really nice to see.
That is true.
Next, we have a coaster in the middle of nowhere. As I say that, Stunt Pilot at Silverwood, it has tested. There is a POV that came out as well. It's interesting how it's actually quite different from the prototype. We'll have to see what people think of it when it opens. It should be pretty interesting. But yeah, it has tested and it will be opening in, I think, about a week from now, actually. Yeah, May 29th. So that's good to see for sure. But it's interesting, like, how different it is compared to the other RMC Raptors.
Especially the dive loop.
Yeah, because they made it invert earlier. So you're probably not going to get airtime going into it, but we'll kind of see how it is when, how it actually rides.
It's pretty understandable since the trains are longer, but still, I would love a little bit of airtime in the back row.
Yeah, that would have been nice. But yeah, the trains, they were probably too worried. And also, I heard somewhere that they might be doing this anyways for future ones, just because I think there might be a decent amount of general guests who don't like the coasters because they're too aggressive, and you know how the restraints are. Mm-hmm. So we'll have to see if this is something that's just with Stunt Pilot or for future Raptors. Speaking of Raptors, Jersey Devil Coaster has tested completely out of nowhere. I think it's tested on Thursday, I'd like to say. I got really excited when I first saw it. For its first test run, I thought it ran pretty well. I know a lot of people were saying it was slow, but for the first test run, I thought it was fine. We'll have to see how it warms up. Grid Adventure even said to a comment saying on their YouTube video saying someone was saying it was slow, and they said it still needs time to heat up. It still needs time to loosen up. So we'll kind of see how it is in a few weeks here, but very exciting stuff, and very excited to see to eventually ride this coaster either in New Jersey or when the clone or near clone comes here to California. So yeah, but that's Jersey Devil Coaster. Next, we have another ride that tested Now You See Me High Roller at Motion Gate Dubai, themed to the Now You See Me franchise. Yeah, that's what it is. This is a Mauer spinning coaster that has a non-inverted loop that looks very weird, but it has begun testing, and pretty quickly after it started testing, we got news that a park in China was going to be getting a clone of the exact same ride. So pretty interesting. I find a non-inverting loop, it just looks so weird on like a ride like this. But it's interesting, and I'm curious to see. I wonder if we're going to get a coaster like this here in the States, or at least somewhere closer, because I'd be curious to see how it rides.
It'll probably be pretty intense, that non-inverting loop.
Yeah, I mean, I was like, dang, I think it might be crazy. So we'll have to see how that is. I'm excited to see POVs of it whenever it comes out. So that's a pretty interesting ride, honestly. Um, Next, we have Boomerang at Luna Park in Sydney. It tested as well. This is basically a clone of Rewind Racers. Not too much to go over here, but it's nice to see that. Also, track has gone on site for Big Dipper, also at the same park, the single rail Intamin. So, and the track looked yellow, which was interesting. People were saying that someone joked that it looked like that they dismantled Wonder Woman and were just gonna build it over there because the track had a very similar color, so that's kind of interesting. Um, in more unfortunate news, I guess, Desert Storm at Castles and Coasters Valleyed on Saturday, May 15th. Not exactly sure where. It wasn't on the loop. It didn't get stuck upside down because that's pretty much impossible.
Let's go.
But yeah, yeah, it stalled somewhere or valleyed somewhere. And it took about like 90 minutes to get everyone off. No one got hurt, just another valley. So it is what it is, but it was kind of interesting. Also, King Dakar and Zumanjaro Drop of Doom are now allowed to run at the same time, which they haven't been for a long while, it seems like. I don't know when the exact year it was that they did it at. I think they did it at some point, but now they're allowed to again, so that's really awesome. And that's probably really scary when you're on Zumanjaro, just because I've heard it kind of shakes a little bit. So that should be pretty exciting if you are able to get one of those rides where King Dakar runs when you're on the drop tower. So that should be pretty cool. Next, we have Oktoberfest, which will be moving to Dubai after Munich canceled the event again, Munich in Germany. They canceled it because of COVID. A lot of people are upset about this, specifically in Munich, just because it's their event, they feel like, and they're kind of moving it for this year. But 120 fair attractions will be going here, and this will be the largest, I think, fair in terms of like the amount of land they're using. So it's going to be huge. And like they claim like 120 attractions. I don't know exactly what that means. But that's a lot of attractions regardless, so that's going to be pretty crazy to see. Not sure if Olympia Looping is going there or not because it usually operates at Oktoberfest. I don't know if it's going to Dubai, but that's pretty crazy to see.
And unfortunately, my local fair isn't doing any better in regards to opening.
Oof, that's tough. Let's see. Next, we have Aslan in Mexico City. This is the park that is replacing La Feria Chapultepec. And they already announced that they were going to be removing Montaña Rusa. And they're going to be replacing the ride with a Vekoma family boomerang that will duel with the first Vekoma suspended family boomerang. So, pretty weird. This thing kind of went under the radar. Yeah, a suspended family boomerang, so that's kind of interesting. I still don't feel like it's a great replacement for the ride just because a racing wooden coaster that was kind of iconic getting replaced by, not like kind of just more smaller, more like cheaper models. I don't know. I'm not exactly the biggest fan of that, but it's better than nothing, and at least the park is, able to operate. And it'll be interesting to see what a Vekoma suspended family boomerang looks like. That's kind of a weird concept, but that should be interesting. Next, we have Buffalo City Park. This is a new theme park going to Buffalo, New York. Not much details on it, but it is set to break ground in 2022. This might have been the major theme park announcement that was referred to the last time I mentioned the news because someone said that there's going to be a major park announced in May. This might be it, but I'm not sure because we already knew some things about it before. So, but I think it got passed to be now they're allowing them to break ground on it, so that's great. Gene Staples might buy Fantasy Island in New York. I'm not sure exactly where they are in negotiations. I know he is in negotiations to buy it, and they even have it sort of on their website they just created. They made a website for their chain because they're technically a chain now. Um, but we'll kind of have to see what happens. A lot of work to do though with this park if they buy it because I've heard it's in pretty rough shape. But it would be really nice to see it get saved, just because you don't want to see another park die, and they got Silver Comet, so the seeing both the park and the coaster saved would be amazing. Next, we have an announcement that should be exciting for United Kingdom or UK coaster fans. Chessington Worlds of Adventure is planning a new Amazon Land expansion that will feature a family coaster with a non-complete circuit layout. So basically, a shuttle coaster is what they're thinking, along with other attractions. The concept art showed what appeared to be a B&M Wings shuttle coaster, which was very weird if you looked at the pictures. But the manufacturer, they haven't decided who they're going to go with yet, but they have mentioned that they are discussing Vekoma, Mock Rides, B&M, obviously, because the coaster looked like a B&M in the concept art, and Gerstlauer, along with art engineering. So those are those are the manufacturers and companies they're talking with. We'll have to see what actually happens with this area. I don't even think it's confirmed to happen, but they're planning it right now, basically, and we'll see what comes of it. Next, we have Toboggan from Conneaut Lake Park. It is listed for sale at $35,000. This coaster hasn't operated since 2006, and we'll see what happens. It's just kind of weird. You don't see rides like this going up for sale, so it was kind of interesting to me. And then next we have that new B&M track has been spotted at their fabrication plant in Ohio. This was multiple weeks ago. We don't know what it's for. There's been a lot of speculation, but there was some new track found a few weeks ago, basically. And then the last thing, and potentially the biggest thing, RMC has unveiled family hybrid coasters and a new Raptor layout. So these are the family hybrid coasters. As you can see, they look very Gravity Group family coaster like. At least that was a lot of people's thoughts when they first saw this, including my own. And here is the second RMC Raptor layout. It's also on their new website, which they updated. So if you want to check it out, make sure to do that. And I'll actually take this out of the way just so. But what are your thoughts on the RMC announcements and any of the other things I went through?
Sorry. First of all, for the family coaster model, I think it's great that they're getting into the family market. I know Alan Schilke has made a few family coasters before, like Roadrunner Express at Fiesta Texas, and so I'm pretty sure RMC will do or they'll have the ability to make very good and well-rounded family coasters. As for the RMC Raptor layout, I'm glad that they're extending it a little bit, because I know some people complained about the prototype Raptors being a little short, and this does look like a prototype Raptor but extended. Is that correct?
Weirdly enough, this layout kind of got swept under the rug because everyone was freaking out about the family hybrid coasters. Even Coaster Studios failed to not acknowledge it in his video he made. So I really don't exactly know. It does seem very similar to the original layout, but I think with a few differences, it does look very similar. And I would imagine it probably would be. But it's nice to see some variety. We'll have to see if what park decides to go with this layout in the future, if any decide to. But it was kind of interesting, and I decided to bring light to it just because it seemed like almost no one had. So it was kind of weird that like this kind of got looked over completely.
You're correct about that. It has been under the radar.
Yeah, I'm just like, how? No, I don't even think anyone's made a No Limits recreation of it or attempted to. So Or
New video idea?
hey, go for it. Yeah, at least I haven't seen one. But yeah, that's all the news. I will mention a few other things that didn't quite make it on here. Just in general. Obviously, a lot of parks have changed their policies relating to masks and social distancing, in to basically align with the new CDC announcement, and of course the more people getting vaccinations here in America. So there's been that. A lot of parks have done a lot of things, to the point where I couldn't really just cover one. And then also a lot of parks are dealing with staffing shortages, and it's becoming more apparent. As we saw yesterday, Cedar Point announced that they will be closed on certain weekdays in June, which is pretty surprising. Kings Island acknowledged their staffing shortage. Although for Cedar Point and Kings Island, they also increased the wage of the workers there, which I guess is nice and probably an incentive to try to bring people in. Yeah, that's also something that's been going on. So that's all the news I have for this week. Quite a bit, obviously. And with that being said, we'll move on to our first Q&A session, which will lead into the quiz, which actually I need to get on there because I haven't even gotten it ready for anyone who maybe has wanted to get in. So let me do that real quick. But you guys can start asking questions right now. Oh, and also if you have any other thoughts on any of the things I just mentioned, Jace, you can say them, I guess.
Not really anything else except for that the Chessington World of Adventures announcement is very interesting, I might add. Some people were saying it's like a launch B&M wing shuttle coaster, which just seems like very out of the ordinary. But if that actually happens, that would be very cool for Chessington.
Absolutely.
I'll follow that for sure.
All right, I'm gonna, oh yeah, I need to put the link in the chat. So let me do that real quick. So here's the quiz link, and then you guys can start asking questions whenever you want. I'm seeing less people are on here. I figured this might be a possibility because it seemed like this was kind of a busy week for just in general. I think a lot of people are starting to go back to parks, which is great. So yeah, and actually also for the future, I'll mention this just before the we got our first question. I'll get back to that in a second. Have you answered this one yet? I don't know if you've been on one of these when this question has come up, but have you ever gotten stung by a bee on a coaster?
No, I have not. Thankfully.
Classic question.
Classic.
Classic question. Almost classic response, except that we've actually gotten a few interesting ones as of late. So that's interesting. Mr. Cola Roaster doubts that the Chessington coaster will be an extreme ride. They said they wanted it more to be a family coaster, but it seems weird how they've kind of, like, that's how they worded it, but at the same time, I think the coaster they showed in the concept art had, like, inversions, so I'm just kind of like, I think they more mean they want a compact coaster, and for whatever reason, they were like, compact means family coaster, guys. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but yeah. Ooh, nice. Sanford Bridge should be riding Jersey Devil, Stunt Pilot, and Railblazer this summer. That's nice. In that order. That's actually pretty cool. That's awesome to see that. I've done Railblazer and it's really good. So yeah. Ooh, we got another question. Have you ever been stuck on a coaster, Jace?
Technically, yes, for 15 seconds. It was on Big Thunder Mountain Railroad second lift hill. But yeah, I was actually pretty excited when I got stuck. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's my first, getting stuck. I don't know. But yeah, it was something though.
The only time I can think of that I've gotten stuck on a coaster was when I rode, and I think I mentioned this multiple times, but I rode Superman Ultimate Flight at Discovery Kingdom. The whole ride cycle happened, but for whatever reason, the train just kind of parked like just a little bit too far in front of like the front row was inside of the tunnel to where it was like we couldn't get onto the platform. So they had to figure that out. That took like 15 minutes for them to like get us back into the station, even though it was like only a few feet to go, which was kind of funny. But yeah, and I was in the front row, so I had, I guess, the most interesting experience because I was just kind of stuck in the tunnel. So it was kind of interesting that way. Theory on where the new Gerstlauer is going. Good question. JC, you want to start with this one?
Okay, so I honestly really don't know, but I think my best guess at this point is probably Cedar Point because they like to break records, obviously. Cedar Fair has worked with Gerstlauer before, and it seems like there's a decent amount of evidence pointing towards Cedar Point getting that Gerstlauer. So my guess is Cedar Point for now.
There's only two parks I could see it being realistically. Cedar Point, obviously, there seems to be a lot of signs, but in a way, I almost feel like things are a little too convenient for this to be legit. Like, I just feel like if this was Cedar Point, they would be doing a better job just trying to tell everyone to keep this under wraps. So my thinking is this might be going to Holiday World, and I know that seems totally random, but they did get something totally random a few years ago when they got Thunderbird. Like, no one expected them to get a B&M launched wing coaster. Like, that was completely out of nowhere. So, and also they mentioned how the location would be challenging. Well, Holiday World doesn't seem to have a super obvious spot for a coaster. So, they probably would have to figure some things out with, like, the area and the location. So, I honestly think it could be for Holiday World, but it could also be for Cedar Point for obvious reasons.
Holiday World has also broken records before. Voyage used to have the most airtime on a wind coaster.
Correct. And then also, they mentioned first of its kind. B&M Launch Wing was first of its kind. So
they've done that
actually,
before.
well, it wasn't launched. Well, I guess technically Launch Wing wasn't first of its kind, but they sort of marketed it something because I know Fierce Baco existed, but I think they pretended it didn't exist. So it is what it is.
I'm gonna pretend I didn't see
that. Oh yeah, I'm enjoying the Magic Mountain series is so good. I actually, even though Magic Mountain's my home park, I actually don't know that much about the history of it. So seeing it, I'm like, dang, this park used to be something more than just coasters. So yeah,
I second that.
I mean, it's so crazy. Like, one year it was like the leading concert venue in all of Los Angeles or something. I'm like, dang, that would have been cool to go there when it was like that. And when seeing Gotham, like Batman the Ride when it was part of the Gotham area, I'm like, wow, that area actually looks good. Theming wise, so I've loved seeing that. It's an awesome series. If you guys haven't seen it yet, make sure to check it out. Yeah. Is it true that King Dakar and Zoom... Yeah, I covered that during the news. Yeah, they are running together. They're allowed to run together. Yes. They closed for a few days to, I think, get that through, but that's actually happening.
Like
Theory on a delay of Iron Gwazi. You want to go first with this? I actually think I might even know, but actually I won't go into it yet. But you
should go first because I have no idea.
Okay. I know there's been a lot of things thrown out there, but the most common thing I've seen and the thing that seems to be that make the most sense for me, and this probably would also relate to SeaWorld Orlando as well, is they're understaffed, and that's my honest guess to why there's a delay. And we're seeing it more and more. Like, a lot of parks now, they're acknowledging that, like, they're understaffed. I think that has to be the reason for this thing, at least for Icebreaker. For Iron Gwazi, it's probably a combination of they are understaffed and the timing is not great with Velocicoaster and stuff. I mean, I wouldn't want to open the coaster right around now. I think they're probably going to try to go for 2022 at this point, which sucks, but that's honestly my guess. But I'm not an insider, obviously, so I don't know anything, but that's just my guess, and that's what I've heard. You have anything else or anything to add, I guess?
I would probably agree with you there. What I was thinking was, I guess, kind of like what you mentioned. SeaWorld just wants to find like the best time to open it because like I know that this time there's a lot of competition, especially with like Icebreaker. Oh wait, that's the same
I think
chamber.
I mentioned this last stream, and I'll just say it. I think if they open Icebreaker before they officially open Velocicoaster, or they even open it around it, I think it would actually help SeaWorld because a lot of people are going to be going to Universal, which is very close to SeaWorld. Um, and if they see, oh, SeaWorld has a new coaster, oh, okay, I might drop by, I might check it out. I think Velocicoaster almost would help Icebreaker. Iron Gwazi, that's not the same situation because it's so far away. That's why I was a little confused for Icebreaker, but if it's related to understaffing, then I see why they aren't able to open it. I think I cut you off. Did you have anything else or?
Not really. Yeah, you basically covered it.
Okay. Least favorite coaster, of course, mine is the one and only Coast Rider. So, which we'll mention later as well. But yeah, Coast Rider's mine. Yours, Jace?
I think I'm gonna have to second you on that. Coast Rider.
Yeah, let's go.
Absolutely horrible restraints. The ride is actually not that bad, but in my opinion, but the restraints just ruined it. It's like they limited their audience down to like really like small children who'd want to be brave because those are the only people the train could really accommodate. So yeah.
It's ridiculous. And also the rides break to death, but you know. I mean, actually, no. A ride that's break to death is Goofy's Sky School. So, at least in my experience, I think I got a really bad ride on it. But, yeah. Which park frustrates us the most? Six Flags Discovery Kingdom, and it's not even close. I've mentioned that. Jace, for you.
Disney California Adventure. On my visit, a lot of rides that I really wanted to ride, especially Guardians of the Galaxy Mission Breakout, which I've never ridden, closed on me. So that wasn't fun. Still a great park, but I guess I didn't have the best experience.
I'd almost second that because my last experience there was less than stellar. So, yeah, and I'm happy I'm not going right now because right now doesn't seem to be the best time to go to California Adventure because they just increased capacity, but they can't increase capacity for the amount of people they get on the ride. So, especially for California Adventure because they don't got a lot, it's hurting them quite a bit. Infinite Coasters mentions for the Gerstlauer, potentially Glenwood Caverns. I've actually heard this. Someone on Twitter, I think one of the In the Loop guys put it out there. And I could see it. I just find it a little unlikely because it would really be out of nowhere for them. But it would be a challenging location. So maybe it could be. So
that would absolutely be amazing, honestly. Like the terrain interaction.
Yeah, we answered the question for Kingda Ka already. Yeah, Kingda Ka and Zumanjaro are running together. There hasn't been any footage yet. Interesting. Maybe it hasn't started yet, but they're able to now. So that should be coming soon. Or we should be seeing it soon, I should say. I think I'm going to move on to the quiz. Let's see. Only 3 people have gone on. If you guys haven't... Oh, right. Shoot. I know the problem. Well, okay. We'll answer a few more questions. I need to actually pin the code because I put it in the chat, but I didn't pin it. And I also have the website, so that probably helps. Let's pin that. Yeah, there we go. All right. Hopefully, is it pinned now? Let's see. Yeah, okay, it should be. So we'll take a few more questions. What is our favorite coaster? Mine is Steel Vengeance. Jace? Or yeah, that way.
And mine is Ghost Rider, Knott's Berry Farm.
My second favorite coaster in California. Yes, okay. I was like thinking, I'm like, am I missing one? Okay, yeah, no, but yeah, really good choice there. let's see. Yeah, we've heard of Karnan at Hansa Park. It's up there on I think both of our bucket lists. At least it is up there for mine. Though I've been hearing more recently that it hasn't been running too great in general, but I'm still very excited to do it whenever I get the chance.
I heard Gerstlauers in general they age
They don't
pretty
age
quickly.
well. Yeah,
Yeah.
they don't age well. Yeah, that's tough. And then let's see, best looking family coaster models. This let's see. Ooh. Well, Gravity Group family coasters. I'll go off stuff that actually exists because I don't want to cheat and say the RMC family hybrid because they do not fit. But definitely Gravity Group family coaster. The PAX rides mine train. No, I'm just kidding. Dude,
Wild train.
That's not a family coaster. Dang it! I want to say the mock multi-launch because technically Manta exists, but and you could almost consider the other one family coasters, but like, Manta sort of counts, right?
Manta counts, but
yeah, well, Manta counts, but I don't know. But the model is kind of like that's not really a model though. Is the problem? Same thing with the Blitz. Like, there's some like family-oriented Blitzes, but like, it's not a family model.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like you can answer. Man, I have the wrong way. Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, you go.
So for me, Gerstlauer family coaster, so like Fire Chaser Express and what is that one called at Park Asterix? But there is a Gerstlauer family coaster at Park Asterix. I know that, and it's pretty cool. Wait, just give me a sec.
Yeah, look it up on our
That's what I'm doing right now.
Objectif Mars. Shout out to Objectif Mars. That one's pretty cool. Pegasi
Express. Yeah.
Okay.
Or however you pronounce that.
Yeah,
that's the
one. Yeah, that's a good answer. I like
but
that.
Anyways, Gerstlauer family coasters for one, and also what was it? Vekoma /S.
You froze
the
up,
largest
sort of.
model of Vekoma family inverted coasters, and that looks pretty fun.
That's I don't know if for the stream we're like losing you a little bit. I'm not sure.
Am. Okay.
Well, I'll ask the chat if you guys in chat was he freezing up a bit. I saw it on my end. Maybe it wasn't a problem. I assume it probably is, but let's just make sure. Yeah, and actually to help, I need to take my phone off Wi-Fi. I think it might be a problem on your end, but
it might be.
Yeah, you're like kind of freezing quite a bit now, so. Okay,
using the Wi-Fi. I'll check.
You're like freezing up a lot. I cannot really tell what you're saying. We'll hopefully get this fixed in a little bit here. If depending on how this goes, I may start the quiz just so it would be a little bit more like I can kind of take over while you're trying to fix the problem if we can fix it.
Sure, you can take over.
Yeah, I'll just kind of do that, and I'll just start the quiz because I think that's probably the route we'll do right now. So I'm gonna start the quiz, and that's gonna be that. So I just started the quiz. And I need to share the screen. The first question is, what park did the original Zippin' Pippin operate at? That is the first question, the original, not the one that currently operates. Yes, I know it's debated, sort of, but basically, if you really want to see it that way, which park did it first operate at, I guess also you could say that. And the correct answer is Libertyland. So that's pretty much that. Let me get the thing on screen. Alrighty. Next question is, How many inversions does Raptor at Gardaland in Italy have? That is the next question. And Jace, you can talk as well. If I think things are looking better on your side.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it looks like it, at least from my view. But yeah, my next question is, how many inversions does Raptor at Gardaland have? And the correct answer is 3 inversions, which include a corkscrew, a 0G roll, and an inline twist. So,
Oh, right. That
yeah.
one.
Which Skyrocket 2 opened most recently? Was it Hype, Tigress, Electric Eel, or Skyrocket? That Skyrocket being the one in China. So, yeah.
I feel like by putting in the American answer, I'm going to be wrong. Never mind.
Yeah, Tigress is the correct answer. Opened on April 19th of 2019. Next question is, what year did not Hershey Park, did Wildcat at Hershey Park open? Yes, I know there's been multiple coasters. This is the one that's still operating. There was like another coaster at Hershey Park called Wildcat at one point that was a lot older. And that's why this one was named Wildcat. But the correct answer for this is 1996, opened on May 26th of that year. So, yeah, first GCI coaster, of course. Next question is, what year did Space World close? This is the defunct park in Japan that featured Venus GP, Titan Max, and Saturn, I think. Yeah, I think those were the top 3. Along with Boogie Woogie Space Coaster, the greatest coaster in the world.
Oh boy.
And the correct answer is actually 17/18. The weird thing with this question is that the reports are that it closed on the 31st of 2017, but there's also other contradicting sources that say it closed on January 1st of 2018. So that's why there's a slash in there. But either way, you couldn't, you still kind of had to guess around because there wasn't like an answer that had 2018 or 2017 outside of the correct one. So yeah.
Interesting.
Next question is, how many riders can be seated per train on Ghost Rider? Correct answer is 24 riders per train.
I know from Planet Coaster that GCIs have 12 rows.
Yep. What is the coaster in this picture?
Oh my.
And it has a defining element, so...
That Photoshop, though.
Yeah, this was actually from the park, which I found funny, but... the element, it does have the defining element. None of these other coasters have it, except for the correct one. And the correct answer is Nefeskesen at Istanbul in Turkey. I don't know if I butchered that or not, but yeah, that's the coaster in this picture. Next one is, which coaster is faster between the two? Yes, I use flashes. I don't know. It's fast. Is it Untamed or is it Montu? Which one is faster?
I'm guessing I can't look it up. So, I believe. Okay, I'm not gonna say anything.
And the correct answer is Montu at 60 miles per hour. Untamed is 57.2 miles per hour. I think even if you guess, it's delayed, so it wouldn't affect anything. Next one. Which coaster is faster between these two? Tennessee Tornado at Dollywood or Cheetah Hunt at Busch Gardens, Tampa? Yes, pretty random coasters. I just decided, hey, this would be a cool new kind of idea to put in. So decided to use it. And the correct answer is Tennessee Tornado, which actually travels at 63 miles per hour compared to Cheetah Hunt's 60 miles per hour. So, which I honestly wouldn't have expected, to be honest, that Tennessee Tornado would have been faster. So when I saw that, I was pretty surprised. What year did Disneyland Paris open? First open, I should say. What was its opening year? And the correct answer is 92.
Oh,
You see, sometimes I was trying to remember because I made the quiz a while back. Yeah, 92 as Euro Disneyland. So yeah, Next question is, how fast is Big One at Blackpool Pleasure Beach? Yes, I've put in a question for you, UK coaster enthusiasts. I hope you're happy. Yeah.
Oh, shucks, I can't change it.
And the correct answer is 74 miles per hour, which half the people got right. That's pretty good. Yeah. Next, we have, what park is Dynamite located at? This is the Mock Ride's Big Dipper. So, yes.
Instant click.
You knew this one. Alrighty. And the correct answer is, if it'll load it, I mean, I know what it is, but yeah, Friesett Park Plone. Wallaby Roan Alps has Mystic, I believe. Yeah. So if you got confused there, that's why. That's kind of why I put it in, because they're kind of similar in a way. Next question is, what was the first ever Intamin Mega Coaster? And no, it was not the one. It's not the one in the picture, because that would be too obvious. And it's not even an answer choice. And the correct answer is Ride of Steel at Darien Lake, which first opened on May 15th of 1999. I'm surprised you either guessed Ride of Steel or Superman the Ride in New England. I would have thought it would have been between the two Ride of Steels, but it does feel like Superman's been around for a while. Speaking of Ride of Steel, what did Six Flags America start as? I guess wrong Ride of Steel, but close enough. What was its original name?
Mr. Cola Roaster's on a whole other level.
Yeah, he's way in the lead. But hey, you're in third. The correct answer is Largo Wildlife Preserve. It originally opened as it in 1974. Then it became Wild World. But yeah, that's actually what it was originally, which is sort of debatable, I guess. But that's what it originally started as. And the last question is, what park is Prairie Screamer, what used to be Scandia Screamer, what park is it going to? And the correct answer is Traders Village, which is in Texas, about, I think, 10 miles away from Six Flags Over Texas, 5 to 10 miles, somewhere in there. But yeah, pretty crazy stuff. And so for our leaderboard, in first place, we have Mr. Cola Roaster with a score of 100. Absolutely knocked it out of the park. In second, literally, I guess, second place, we have Ash, who got a score of 63. And then in third, we have 808 Coaster Life Jace. He came in third with 51 points. You did it. You finally came in the top 3.
Yay!
And thanks to everyone else who participated in this quiz. So that'll be that. And now we'll move on to the next segment, which will be, actually it'll be YouTube shoutouts. Somehow, even after all this time, I keep forgetting the order of these things, but gotta try. So with that being said, my first shout out goes to Destination Thrills, who recently reached 6,000 subs. A channel I need to check out more of, definitely, as I think I mentioned. Although I did check out a few channels that I'll get to later. But I know he does tournaments, which I've seen a few of those, so those are pretty interesting. And he's got a lot of great content, so make sure to check him out if you haven't already. And then, what is the, and then what was the other thing I was going to say? Oh, the links are in the description, and I just put it in the chat. So make sure to check out Destination Thrills if you haven't already. Next, we have Canopy Coaster, who recently reached 5,000 subscribers. And as I mentioned in the past, I think he has the best coaster reviews in general. Of really anyone out there, and that's definitely saying a lot. At least one of the best for sure, at least in my opinion. He's just written so much. If you haven't checked out his channel yet, you gotta make sure to. He's got some really good content, so make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Next, we have Coaster Dash, who recently also reached 5,000 subscribers. Very consistent in uploading, as is Canopy Coaster. But Coaster Dash, ever since he's been doing more of his commentary style videos, his channel in general, his videos have improved drastically. So another really good channel to check out. So yeah, make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Also a fellow California coaster enthusiast, so we like that. Theme Park Predictions has recently reached 8,000 subs. Not a channel, this is another one I need to check out more of, but I know a decent amount of you watching like watching him, so make sure to check him out if you haven't already. Recently reached 8,000 subscribers. Also, I think one that's very consistent in uploading. And the next channel we have is Park Pros. Recently started uploading again. Another channel that I need to check out more of his stuff. But like I said, recently started uploading again. And definitely another channel I would recommend. I know he did a video on Skyrush recently, which I haven't checked out. But yeah, those are the channels that reached milestones. And I actually also have 3 channels who they didn't necessarily reach milestones, but they're just ones I would recommend just in general. And the first of those is Mostly Coasters, specifically his Velocicoaster review. If you want to get one that isn't like, that doesn't have like theming spoilers, but it's still like really good and really in depth with the layout, I would recommend his review. One of the better ones out there when it comes to Velocicoaster, in my opinion. And his channel in general is really good. He's also good friends with Drew from Parks Bros, so great channel there if you haven't checked him out. Another one I would also like to shout out is one that I know some of you have been asking me to watch quite a bit, and that is Zero Credits Remaining. Really good stuff. I saw a few of his Insane Coaster Wars videos, but the one that stuck out to me was I watched his Scooby-Doo coaster video having to do with the coaster in Warner Bros. Movie World. That one was insanely good. Really underrated content. Make sure to check him out if you haven't already. And the last channel I have is one that I stumbled upon, I think about a week ago, and that is Theme Park Blitz. I saw him because Coastoons put him out there on his Instagram, and he recently did a video on the I think he named it top 5 parks going to Asia this year, which is something like you don't really see that get talked about a lot. So I really like seeing that. I need to check out more of his stuff as well, but that one video was really good, so I'd recommend his stuff as well. So those are all the channels. If you have anything you want to say here, Jace, you can say it, and then we'll move on.
I really got to check out Mostly Coasters and Theme Park Blitz, definitely.
Yeah.
And I've watched some of Theme Park Predictions videos, especially his one about planning coaster trips. I thought that one was very well done.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, definitely have to check that one out. But that'll be that, and then we'll move on to our next Q&A, which will, and also if there were any questions from earlier that we didn't answer, you can ask us them now, I guess. So make sure to do that if we weren't able to answer them. So yeah. And then also there's a bit of, let's see, what's the next thing I have after this? Oh yeah, questions for viewers. I guess it's obvious. I just have to look at like my general schedule just because I kind of forget sometimes. Yeah. Favorite coaster experience that we've ever had? Jace, I'll let you start off with this one.
This is a hard one because I either got to decide from Ghost Rider at night or a really surprising experience on Hang Time at Knott's Berry Farm. I think like the weird thing is compared to the rest of the coasters that day, Hang Time, first of all, they let me choose my row. Nice. They also, I guess the fast pass system was like, or the fast lane system was like a little better, but just overall, I found like compared to the other rides at Knott's that day, I found my Hang Time experience to be much better than the other ones. But then Ghost Rider at night, of course, it's like the best time ever. Oh, I also wrote that in the back row, so even better. But I don't remember it too well. That's why sort of debating it right now.
Ooh, I mean that's still good, and yeah, hang time I've heard, getting a row. I think in my experience, I kind of I asked if I could get it, and I don't know if I lucked out or if they actually gave it to me, but I asked for the front row specifically on my first ride, so I got that. But hang time, I can see how that could be like really good. My favorite coaster experience, probably my Steel Vengeance night rides. It was just, the airtime obviously was incredible, but kind of not being able to see like the elements coming up when we were inside the structure and whatnot. Even though I kind of memorized it, that made the ride pretty crazy. So my Steel Vengeance night rides would definitely have to be up there for sure. Coaster Keychain, you got beat by Diggin Barnes already. This
Right.
question was asked earlier for this thing might be, yeah, you got
Classic.
beat by like I think like 30 minutes. But yeah. Our
No, I
fourth
have not.
favorite coaster. I love the specificness of this. Ghost Rider at Knott's Berry Farm is my number 4, which I know that's changed quite a bit since the last time I did a countdown, but it is my number 4 right now.
Silver Bullet at Knott's Berry Farm for my number 4. Riding in the back row is actually pretty surprising. Many people say it's forestless, but in the back row it's actually kind of intense. So
back row at night, it's definitely, I'd say it's definitely at least somewhat intense. It compared to other inverts, it's not the most intense thing in the world, but at night in the back row, or just in the back row in general, it's a pretty good ride. Any tips on growing on YouTube? Ooh.
Can I go first?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, so Chris from Airtime Thrills really like outlines it very well, like what you need as a channel. You need to, so what every channel should strive to have is quality, up the video quality, have identity, so like branding and stuff, like take time to like make a good channel banner and make everything like follow a central theme. And then 3 is consistency, so like he says like you should upload at least a week, but of course I'm not doing that. But you should try.
If you're able to, yeah.
Yeah, if you're able to. But just like if possible, be consistent no matter what your uploads schedule is. And what I also want to add is don't compare yourself to other YouTube channels, especially if they're bigger than you, or maybe if they're like surpassing you. I find that like really like stops me from making videos. So don't do that. Be original.
Yeah, though I think those are all really good tips. For me, this might not necessarily have to do with growing on YouTube, but I think I've mentioned this in the past whenever it's been brought up. When you're making videos, I guess it's more just video making, not necessarily growth, but maybe it is as well. It just probably improves the quality of your videos as well. Make videos that you actually want to make, that you are interested in, that you would actually want to watch. At least that's kind of how I approach it, or I have approached it more recently. Because like my Under the Radar Coasters series, which I will be getting back on track in the summer, though, like I'm just like, whenever I'm making them, I'm like so excited to like, find out new things about the coasters, the parks, like doing the research I actually like a lot. And then even trying to contact people, like trying to find out what their experience was like on a certain coaster, just because it's like there's barely anyone who's ridden a few of these. It's like, it's really exciting stuff. I mean, I guess I'll just say it right now because I know a lot more people are gonna watch it. So, but my next video I'm gonna be doing is gonna be on Twist Coaster Robin. And I was able to find someone who actually rode it. So, and they were able to give me their experience. So that was really fun. But yeah, basically going back to what I said, make videos that you would want to watch, that you are interested to make. Because if you're trying to go for something that's like you're making it because it'll get views, you'll kind of get burnt out very quick. as I found out kind of earlier on when I kind of was doing speculation stuff. I'm kind of like, yeah, this isn't exactly what I want to do. So, yeah.
Another one of my models is don't make YouTube videos for the money. Make it because you like making it.
Absolutely. Yeah. That fits in very well. Let's see. What do we think Great Adventure will get after Jersey Devil Coaster? They could I think an Axis would be great for them. Oh wait, shoot, but they already have a 40 free spin's the problem. So
it's different enough.
It's different enough, but it's not as good of a fit as like some other places where it's like Hershey Park, for example. It's like they need something that actually rides off the track. I feel like that isn't Great Bear, and technically I guess they have a spinner and Sky Rush, but that doesn't really count in my opinion. So that for them it would be great. For Great Adventure, they're really stacked. It's hard for me to say. You got any ideas?
I was thinking a West Coast Racer style ride would be good for a Great Adventure, especially because their only other launch coaster I think
is Ka. Yeah,
and that's like short, intense, powerful. It's kind of like the opposite type of launch coaster from West Coast Racers. So yeah, that would be my pick.
Yeah, I think a premier dueling launch coaster, or maybe even, well, they probably wouldn't go with them, but a mock dueling launch coaster, just because of like the weird, I think I mentioned it one of the last times, but there were some weird like what were they called, like the things you file, the patents for like a dueling inversion. They might be going that route, so something like that I think would be really good.
Mm-hmm.
This is a question specifically for me, probably relating to the draft stream I did. Where's Julio Jones going? It's a rumor right now that Julio Jones, who is our best receiver, the Falcons' best receiver, could be getting traded. I'll just make this short and quick, just because I know not everyone's interested. I think the Patriots or the Chargers would be good teams for him to go to. I want him to go to a team where I think they could win a Super Bowl. And I think both those teams give him a good chance. There's other teams as well, but I just think those are two really good teams. The Colts as well. Even though the Chargers are inside the Chiefs division, they're really good teams still. So, yeah, I'll make that quick, though. So, that'll be that. There's nothing confirmed on that where he's going, by the way. That's just my speculation. Let's see. What do we think is the best coaster in the world layout-wise, and what do we think is the most fun coaster in the world? That's kind of hard. I would have said Kondaa, but that ending, not exactly. It's not even sluggish. Like the hills, like if you see how they actually are, like they're so small. It's just kind of like, I don't know about that. I mean, Pantheon's really good layout wise. I don't know. That's really hard. It's really hard for me to decide.
So if we're not gonna take pacing and like running into account, I would go with Kondaa's layout because I think even though it has no inversions, obviously it has a good variety of airtime moments. And for a second place, I think Steel Vengeance's layout is very well crafted, and I don't think much could ever beat it.
Actually, probably from a pure layout standpoint, Steel Vent, and I guess I wasn't thinking of it because I looked at coasters I haven't ridden, but yeah, no, Steel Vengeance for sure. Most fun coaster, that is so hard to say. Like I don't know how. I think that could be determined. I'm not even gonna answer that one. Just because I really don't know what that would be.
For some reason, I was thinking Velocicoaster because although it is kind of intense from what I heard,
It does have intense moments. I've heard, yeah.
Yeah, but like the theming, I think the immersion will make it, I guess, more fun. I don't know, but also for some reason, I was thinking Cannibal because it's like not too intense, but it's definitely thrilling. So yeah, that would probably be my pick, Cannibal. I don't know about the most fun in the world, but it's definitely one of the funnest I've heard of.
Yeah, it looks Like that ride. It's just when, yeah, I mean, force wise, there isn't anything that it looks like, wow, this is like really intense or really, or like it doesn't have anything that's like super strong in airtime or anything, except maybe the drop, but just overall, the package of it, it looks like a super fun ride. Um, let's see. Do we find that our very first coaster ride of the season is more intense, as if your body slash mind has to get used to the experience again? In my experience, no, but I think I might feel it. I mean, actually, the Disney coasters probably ain't gonna do anything to me, but um, uh, I do. I think it's gonna be problematic whenever I go to Magic Mountain or Knott's again. It's probably gonna be something I'm gonna deal with. But up to this point, I haven't noticed. You, Jace?
Well, I haven't ridden a coaster in like one and
Yeah.
a half years. Um, but I did remember back in 2018. Since then, I haven't ridden a major coaster since summer of 2017. And so my coaster, or my first coaster, or first major coaster of that year was Revenge of the Mummy at Universal Studios. And I did remember that ride feeling more thrilling than I expected because I haven't ridden a major coaster in that long. And I think I remember after getting off of it, I felt like shaking from excitement. So yeah. And I guess because like, I mean, I prepared like I think I created I basically created this YouTube channel because of that trip. So yeah, it was definitely a very like fond experience I would remember.
That's cool to hear. I was curious if you were gonna have an answer for this because I know you haven't been to parks too much, but that's actually pretty cool. Um, Now I just realized. Now I'm just thinking. Now I'm gonna be like when I ride like Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, just because I haven't ridden it for so long. I'm gonna like I'm not actually gonna make a review of it, but like I might make a stream after I go there, just giving my experiences if I like saying stuff and what I thought of the park and the rides. If I want to, I might do that. We'll see. But I'm just imagining myself like thinking that like Big Thunder had like crazy lats and like ejector airtime.
Ejector airtime,
Just because it's like I
crazy
haven't
intense
ridden.
positives.
Just because I haven't
Better
ridden
10 out of
anything
10,
for so
better than Steel
long.
Vengeance.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be funny. Just let's see. I think we'll take a few more questions here. Let's see. Do we think the T-Rex will ever happen? No. I'm gonna be straight up honest. They might use the track for like hyper-ish style coasters. I don't think we're getting like I don't believe we're gonna get a 400 to 500 foot coaster, especially not after everything that's happened. These parks are not gonna be able to afford it if they can't even get staffing right now. So, yeah, I don't think so.
And not too many parks were interested in it before the pandemic
Correct.
happened. So I guess it's only going to get worse from then.
I mean, I guess if they still have it like around in like 10 to 15 years, or it's still able to make it in 10 to 15 years, maybe. Um, do you play any coaster games? Jace does. I do not,
Yes.
but yeah, you can
I
go into
play
that.
mostly Planet Coaster Console Edition on my PS4. You could kind of see it back there.
Nice, nice. Yeah, I see it, bottom left.
But yeah, that is. I also play a little bit of PC edition of Planet Coaster, a little bit of No Limits 2, and a very little bit of Parkitect. But the main one is Planet Coaster Console Edition currently.
Nice. I don't remember you having a PlayStation. For some reason I assumed you had an Xbox, so now that I see it because I have an Xbox, I don't even use it that much, but I mean my brother uses it more than me, so but that's interesting. Um let's see. Let's see, is there anything else I see? Oh, how did I find someone who rode Twist Coaster Robin? Basically, I emailed the guy who had the video of the opening ceremony and I think he had a POV as well. He actually has a written review on a website, but it's in Japanese only, and it's kind of hard to translate. So it's kind of nice to get, I guess, something a little better when I emailed him because Google translates a little
Off.
wonky at times. So that's how I was able to find someone, which I know that's crazy, but like I'm telling you, it actually happened. Let's see. I think we'll do. Let's see. I think there's like two more questions. We'll go with that. Unless there's one that you want me to go back to. Thoughts on Goliath at Six Flags Great America? You can go first for this, Jace.
Ooh, it looks very fun, definitely. I think the drop is probably one of the best drops out there. And that stall looks to provide a lot of hang time. I just wish it was a little longer, but I know that they didn't have a lot of land to work with. I guess I could compare it to like an RMC Raptor. Would that be like a fair comparison? Both like short, but like packs a punch. Yeah.
Goliath. I just from the POV and everything, I do think it looks like the worst RMC. Of course, I haven't ridden it, so I could be totally wrong on that. But it still looks like a great ride. I'm excited to get on it whenever I can. The first drop obviously looks really good. And that the 0G stall, I'm curious to see how that is because it look. Oh, wait, 0G.
It's a stall.
Yeah, stall.
But it
and
also
then
has a dive loop.
Dive loop. Yeah. Those two moments look really good. So also want to see how those are. And then the last thing I saw was any thoughts on the new RMC family? I think I guess we didn't go over that. We more talked about the Raptor, I think, funny enough. I guess the opposite of what everyone else did. Like I said, I think I mentioned it looks very similar to the Gravity Group family coasters. So, and I think it's good because, like, I think smaller parks hopefully would be willing to get this, and it would be cool to see, like, a park like, I don't know, like Waldemere or something like that getting an RMC. That would be pretty cool. Fresno, if someone could just buy land and plop it somewhere, I'd love that. I might have to look into how much it costs. No, I'm just kidding. I think it should be. It's a good, and it's also good for RMC just so they can have more than just roller coasters. I feel like they really needed something, and this should probably help. That's my thoughts on it.
You see, RMC never mentioned this, and they probably, and it's most likely they probably will never do this. But there is a possibility that they could, since they now offered the family hybrid coaster, they can RMC some family wooden coasters.
Oh no! Yeah, some people were saying.
I mean, it's a possibility now. I mean, RMC Woodstock Express. Who wouldn't want that? Oh boy!
Oh my god! That's so funny.
Sorry, I just had to say that.
No.
No, but actually though, I wonder like how thrilling they're gonna get with this family coaster layout, because I seen like the layout, like the banking looks like pretty steep for a family coaster. So I guess we'll have to see how extreme they actually get with it.
Yeah. My I guess the one last thing I'll say about it is I'm curious to see how it like because I imagine it will be more expensive than like probably what it's competing with, the Gravity Group family coaster, because that seems to be what they're competing with, but the maintenance probably won't be as expensive, so that'll be kind of interesting to see if parks still decide to go with Gravity Group or if they give RMC a chance. We'll have to see. Go to Starbucks drink. I hardly ever go to Starbucks, so at least, and I don't usually get drinks, so so I don't got anything. JC got anything?
I don't visit Starbucks too often, and if I do, it's actually for breakfast, not for
Nice.
drinks.
Nice.
The double smoked bacon it's a breakfast sandwich.
Sounds good.
Yeah, it's good. But for a drink, sometimes I get a simple vanilla bean, but besides that, not really much.
Nice. I never thought we'd get that question somehow, but here we are. No, it's a good question though. A lot of people really love Starbucks, so yeah. Let's see. The next thing we have is questions for you. Let's see. Do I want to go a little quicker here? I think we're good. Okay. So the first question for you guys is favorite theme park show. I kind of stole this from my draft stream, but there weren't too many people watching it, so I figured it would work. Favorite theme park show. Stole it specifically from Christian from Theme Park Horizons, who I think asked me it. So, yeah. But,
Shout out
yeah.
to you, Christian.
And actually, I guess I'll mention mine first. I haven't seen too many, to be completely honest, but Waterworld at Universal Studios Hollywood would definitely have to be my favorite. It's just, the effects are really incredible, and it's just a very exciting show. I could try to put it into words, but you just got to go see it if you haven't already. I would highly recommend it. And I assume yours is also the same thing.
Yes, it is. I haven't just like Carrick, I haven't watched too many, but Waterworld, you see, I was sort of like a GP at the time when I first visited Universal, and my mom is like, "Hey, we should go watch this Waterworld show." I'm like, "What is that?" but it turns out that it was actually like a very good show. Definitely like a great plot and stuff. Very cool effects. You may even get wet if you sit in certain seats. So yeah, it's a very good show.
Yeah, absolutely. If you go to Universal Park, don't miss it. Let's see. Theme Park Mysteries. Oh, but I think they got it mixed up. Okay. So, let's see. The water light shows at Disneyland and DCA.
Or are you talking about World of Color? Or is that something different?
There's I think multiple different ones, and I haven't seen them in so long that I couldn't even include them. And I'm not gonna see them when I'm there because I don't even think they have them right now. But the laser show at Tivoli Gardens, those are cool ones though. Indiana Jones at Disney Studios. Walt Disney Studios or Hollywood Studios? Because I think both have a show, if I'm correct. Might be wrong on that, but I feel like both of them do.
I think if they said
pretty cool.
Disney Studio, they're probably referring to Walt Disney Studios. So Disneyland Paris.
Yeah, that would make sense. I think both of them have them. Cedar Point's defunct BMX show. Nice. I didn't even know they had that. That's pretty cool.
Same.
World of Color. Yep.
Okay, I'm going to say World of Color is probably my second favorite.
Nice.
For shows.
Let's see. And if there anything else, I guess we'll move on to the next question then, which is this one's pretty specific, but if you could have any model of flat ride to either your home park or favorite park, what would it be? If you don't know the name of the model of of the flat ride, you can just say like a flat ride that exists that is of the model basically. So for me, I guess I'll go first for this. For Magic Mountain, they need an inverting flat ride. I don't know how reliable these are, but a Zamperla Hawk I think would be kind of nice, just because it's like that. I think they could use an inverting flat ride. And I haven't ridden a Zamperla Hawk, but I've ridden a ride very similar to it, and I think they're fun. So I think that'd be good. And then Hershey Park, which is my favorite park. I think a Gerstlauer Sky Roller would be cool. They need any flat ride in general, and one that's more interactive would be probably great for them. Magic Mountain could have also been Gerstlauer Sky Roller, except they don't work with Gerstlauer, so yeah, that ain't happening.
All right, so I guess the park would, for me, the park would be Knott's Berry Farm, and I'm going to go with a Fun Time Starflyer, because
Nice.
they used to have a wind seeker, which
Yep.
apparently was unreliable, and Starflyers apparently are better too. They look better, honestly. So I think that would be a very good replacement. Maybe they could reference the wind seeker there. That would be cool. I don't know, but yeah, Starflyer would be my pick. Second place would probably be like replace their Yes, mom. Okay. Sorry.
No, you good.
But basically, yeah, like replace the smaller frisbee ride with a like a Huss frisbee or a Zamperla Giant Discovery. That would probably be second place.
Wait, what? La Revolution or whatever it's called. I think that's
La
their
Revolution.
frisbee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, no, that would probably be good as well. I guess for Hershey Park as well, they also have like they have a tiny like I think KMG Fireball, so
The same one or same
yeah.
model.
So they could maybe do something a little larger as well. Or they could get Condor back, you know? That'd be nice. I don't know if that's actually happening or not. I've heard rumors. Actually, Magic Mountain could do that too because they had a Condor also. Let's see. SNS Scream and Swing for Carowinds. Those rides look really fun. That's another one I think would be great for Magic Mountain as well. I think that'd be really cool to see. And also Hershey Park. I don't believe they have one. Yeah, no, they don't. They don't have any flat rides or hardly any. So I think anything for them would be great. But yeah, SNS Scream and Swing, I like that. I haven't done one yet either though, so I need to do one for sure.
Sounds like a great fit.
An air race. Where specifically? I guess
I think they're responding to your guess from Magic Mountain, like an inverting flat ride.
Oh yeah. I don't know. To be honest,
Assuming.
I don't know. The Zamperla Air Race, I don't know. I'm not in love with them. I haven't ridden one, but they just kind of look I don't know. Not that great in my opinion. Maybe they are good, but I don't know.
I haven't ridden. For Cedar Point, he just said.
Okay, for Cedar Point. Okay. Actually, yeah, that would be nice for them. I think that feels like it would be something that could work out, so that'd be pretty cool. A drop tower. Man, I forget what your home park is, Coaster Keychain. Remind me again. Yeah. Oh, an Intamin Sky Jump to be specific. Interesting.
There should be more of those. Definitely.
Yeah. Stamford Bridge said add a Vertigo like at Tivoli, but the capacity would be impossible at a larger park.
Oh my gosh.
that
ride looks legendary.
But it's probably too insane. I think it dropped something. I think I dropped. Okay, I'll have to retrieve it later. But anyways, yeah, I guess that's the flat ride. So I guess we'll go to our next question, which is best night ride experience. Vertigo to Cedar Point. I just saw that. Oh my god, the capacity on that would it would totally work out. There wouldn't be any problem.
Just make it an upcharge. I mean, Cedar Point just increased their wage, so I mean,
yeah, but they're also losing operational days, so oof.
That is true.
And the wages for their employees actually it's costing them. So man, that's gonna be tough for them. But good for the employees working there. But anyways. Next thing we have is best night ride experiences. I may have asked this one in the past. It's been a while if I have. Obviously I mentioned Steel Vengeance for sure, but also Ghost Rider comes to mind as well. The night rides I've had are literally insane. Those two come to mind when I think of my best night ride experiences. Just not really being able to see what's coming. And just being like in the pitch dark riding something and it going like at its almost full potential, it seems like you can't get much better than that. So I would say my night rides on Steel Vengeance, which I kind of mentioned earlier, and Ghost Rider would be my favorites. How about you?
I did also mention mine earlier. It is Ghost Rider. I got it Like I mentioned, back row at night. Yeah, the first turn is surprisingly very intense after not the pre-lift one, but the one after the drop. And I don't remember the drop very well, but I did remember the second half being very intense though.
Yeah, the second half is definitely where it's at. So, I mean, it's absolutely phenomenal at night. So of course I'm gonna support that. Um, let's see what other ones. Best one you've gotten, I guess. Yeah, that's what I meant. So like best experience for you, basically. Uh, the Beast. I know some people absolutely love the Beast at night. I'm probably only gonna ride it at night if I go to Kings Island, just because. Why would you ride it in the day?
I mean,
But anyways, I'll try to remember that. But Voyage, Fury, and Ghost Rider, I mean, those are all pretty legendary. At least it
Beary
seems
looks
like
insane.
Fury at night. That's another one where I'm like, I would almost only want to write it at night because it's like it seems that much more insane. Um, and then that probably wouldn't be a smart idea realistically. And then Voyage, that would probably be risking it a little bit. And then Voyage, obviously Hollywood Nights. That one's got to be up there. Steel Vengeance and Banshee. That's an interesting one. Kings Island seems to have a lot of good night rides, so I can see that. Banshee in general looks pretty intriguing to me, but I'm also kind of worried because of the vest restraints. So,
Oh yeah.
but I can see that. That's a cool one. Wickerman. Oh, that thing looks insane at night. I've seen the footage.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Isn't it like not open at night for like most of the year?
Yeah, similar situation with like I think Tehran as well. It's like it's not open that often at night, but when it is, oh boy,
Oh yeah.
it looks so good. Leviathan, yeah, Leviathan, kind of like Fury. That one also seems really good at night. And then Stealth, interesting. That I mean I could see that just because it's like I guess it's kind of different than doing it in the day. That's an interesting one for sure. Another runner-up, Renegade. Yeah, that seems like it'd be a good one. Renegade at Valley Fair. You've done Edge and Nika at night. I'm done. At that point, oh my, that's probably the best possible one. I'm just,
You win.
for me probably. Like, oh my god, I would, like, I'd give up so much to get that experience. I haven't even experienced X2 at night, so like, oh my god, if I was able to do that, I'd cry. Like I'd actually cry. And if I got back row as well because of the assign like things, that would just be unbelievable.
Oh boy.
But yeah, Velocicoaster looks amazing at night. I was saying that. I mean, people haven't even ridden that at night. If people already think it's like their number one and whatnot, I can't even imagine what they're gonna think of it at night. That coaster looks literally insane at night.
Especially with those sleek trains and lane package.
Oh yeah, like I mean the trains and oh my god, like that at night, like I wasn't that excited for Velocicoaster compared to the other 2021 coasters, but Velocicoaster at night, okay, I can jump on that bandwagon. Like I can, that seems absolutely unreal. So I would. That's another one where I would just be crying if I probably got that because that's another one that looks so good. Let's see. Oh, you've gotten Tehran as well? What the heck? Dang. Like, man, those
Guys
those
are
are
lucky.
good. Yukon
maybe I'm-
Striker is another good one. Nice. Okay. That's another one I'll have to keep in mind if whenever I go to Canada's Wonderland. That's another park that I feel like probably would have some good night rides. So yeah. But yeah. The fire effects for Wickerman, yeah, that just seems insane. Riding Wickerman at night. That's also another one where it's like in the day, you know, Wickerman, I just kind of feel like I'm not that excited, but if I was able to do it at night, man,
That would be something.
That'd be insane.
Apparently, Mr. Cola Roaster said that like most UK parks are only open at night in October.
That's
for
what I've
Halloween.
heard as well. That makes sense. Which is unfortunate, but guess that would be when you'd have to go. So that's something I guess kind of to keep in mind if you're trying to get those night rides over there in the UK.
Alton Towers would be a great park during Halloween.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like, actually, I don't know how their Halloween event is. Honestly, I hope it's good. I would assume so, but just because of the creepy rides already, it's kind of like it pretty much fits in perfectly.
They can do nothing and it'll still be creepy.
Alrighty, so actually, I think I might actually switch up the order a teeny bit here. And now we'll go with it. Okay, so the next segment we're gonna do is guess the coaster. I tried doing this with Coastoons. Didn't work out super great, but if you're new, basically what I'm gonna do is actually we're gonna switch off, but we're gonna have a coaster that we're thinking of, and you guys in the chat ask the questions. And the questions in the chat will be like the ones, they have to be yes or no questions, and they'll kind of serve as clues. And we'll answer like yes or no, and it'll get you closer to actually figuring out what the coaster is. Obviously, I have a guest on, so this is going to be pretty much very experimental. But especially because you guys are on a delay compared to the guest. But for right now, we're going to try to do it where you're going to try to beat one of us to guessing. We'll see how it works. If it doesn't work super well, then I'll probably have to make changes to this for the future, but that's what we're going to be doing. So with that being said, ask your questions now in the chat. I have my first coaster. So yeah, we'll be going off chat questions. If the chat questions are not a ton of them, then I'll have you start asking questions, Jace. So yeah.
Sorry, now?
Not right now, but
Okay.
Because there's a bit of a delay. So, but I do have my coaster. So ask questions for Guess the Coaster right now.
Okay, so wait, me.
We're going for off. Okay.
Sorry.
We're going off the chat, and we have some questions right now. The coaster is in America, so yes, this coaster is in America. It is not a steel coaster, so it is an American wooden coaster. That's what we have so far. American wooden coaster. Someone already didn't guess it, but they had a guess attempt. It is not New Texas Giant, but that was from earlier. Before we even had any clues. That's kind of interesting. But hey, that would have been crazy if you got it. Not in Europe. It is not green. So, like I said, still we're on American wooden coaster. It is on the eastern side of the U.S. Yeah, so because I just saw, is it on the East Coast? This coaster is a wooden American coaster on the east side of the U.S., if that makes sense. It's not in Texas. It's not a GCI. It's not Hurler. It's not Gravity Group. It's not Mystic Timbers. We're getting a bunch of things coming in. Is it at a Cedar Fair park? No, it is not. Actually, I guess, Jace, you can ask questions as well, because I think I can keep up. So still we're at wooden coaster on the east side of the U.S. That's basically all we've got. It is not a CCI.
Is it an RMC?
It is not an RMC. So once again, wooden coaster on the east side of the U.S. Not Raven, not Legend, not Jackrabbit.
No one has guessed the manufacturer yet.
No one has, no. I feel like it'll be guessed pretty soon, though, but... yes, it is PTC. It's not Wildcat at Hershey Park, but this is a PTC coaster on the eastern side of the U.S.
Is it in a Cedar Fair park?
It is not at a Cedar Fair park. It's not Phoenix. Like I said, PTC coaster on the eastern side of the U.S., which is wooden, but I think all of PTC's coasters are wooden, if I'm not mistaken. And don't use RCDB. You can't use that. Should have also mentioned it, but that's kind of obvious. Is it Twister? No, it's not Twister. Not Comet. Not Boulder Dash.
Is that a relatively small park?
It is not roller coaster. The park is pretty. It's not a small park.
Okay.
So basically, we're on PTC coaster on the eastern side of the U.S. I think that's still literally it.
Is it in Virginia?
Not Racer, not Legend. It's not in Virginia.
It's in Georgia.
Southern. It is Georgia.
Should I give them a chance to guess? 'Cause
I think so. I think you know. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, I'll let them guess.
It's not Wildcat. It's not Thunderhawk. Yep. All right. Train was the first one to get it, at least on my screen. Very closely followed by Mr. Color Roaster, Zero G Coasters, and Stanford Bridge. But the correct answer is Great American Scream Machine. Oh wait, although I guess I'm not sure. It's the initials are slightly off, but I think that's what you meant to say. So I'll still give it to you. Great
They
American
corrected themselves.
Yeah. All right. So then, yeah. So I guess at least on my screen, Train got it first, but like I said, very closely followed by Mr. Color Roaster, Zero G Coasters, Stanford Bridge, and a lot of others. But the correct answer was Great American Scream Machine. Jace, you can get the coaster now, I guess.
I have a coaster. Let me just pull it up because I did hit refresh.
Okay.
Okay. You guys may start putting your guests in the chat. Let me try put on YouTube so that I have a more.
I can just tell you the questions based off the chat. If
I got it pulled up.
All right. Is it a steel coaster?
Yes, it's a steel coaster. It is not in Europe. It is not Full Throttle. It is a little. It's kind of green. Let's see. It does not have inversions, so we got a steel coaster, not in Europe, with
that's slightly
kind of green track. It's slightly green, and it does not have inversions. It is not in America, and it is not at a SeaWorld park, and it's not a wooden coaster. Steel coaster, kind of green, not in Europe or America. It is not in Asia. Interesting how people went straight to America. If that gives you a clue. It is not Coaster Through the Clouds, although good guess. It's not in Asia.
I'll just do a shoot in the dark guess. Before the clues start coming in. Is it Leviathan?
It is Leviathan.
Oh boy. I was only gonna do shoot in the dark guess, but yeah, that was it. So I guess I got that one. I think I guess this is the problem with having the guess. It's kind of like so I guess if we kind of know it, we'll still let you, I guess, kind of figure it out. I think we'll do it that way. Just so to give you guys more of a chance. Yeah, my bad.
That's okay.
I'm so surprised. Like I was, like I said, that was a total shoot in the dark. I guess you can go for like shoot in the dark, like ones basically. So if you have like one that's like, go for it. Because that one was like, we didn't even know what country it was in, what park or anything. I just knew steel coaster and slightly green. So, which it kind of is. So it kind of fit that. All right, I do have my coaster. Start asking questions now. I have it ready. All right, so waiting for the questions to come in.
Is it an RMC and is it a wooden coaster?
It's neither, so no to both of those. It is a steel coaster. So we have steel coaster. It is not West Coast Racers. I love the attempts of like those like total like shoot in the dark attempts.
Yeah,
I like seeing that. Not in Asia. It is not Chinese Fireball, but I'm loving, like I said, I'm loving seeing this stuff. It does not have inversions. It is not in the US, so all we have basically is steel coaster. I'm only gonna say what it is and not what it's not because then it gets too complicated. So steel coaster. It is in Europe. So European steel coaster. It is not yellow, so still European steel coaster.
Is in America.
Well, I said it's European.
Oh, right.
So it's in Europe. It's a European steel coaster. It's not Superman Ultimate Flight. It's not Cannibal. Is it red? No, it's not. Is it blue? No, it's not. It is not Behemoth. I think it's not yellow. I think I answered that already. It's not Expedition G-Force. Like I said, European steel coaster. It is not Intamin.
Is it in mainland Europe?
It's not green. I'm trying to... No, it's not. It's not in mainland Europe. It is in Europe, but it's not in mainland Europe. So, I think. Yeah,
so that could be UK, Scandinavia.
It's not Goliath. It's not Rita. Is it orange? In a way it is. In a way it is.
Is it in Scandinavia?
No. It is not purple. I need to go back up. It's not Tehran. It's not Dragon Con. It's not Silver Star. It's not Hero at Flamingo Land. It's not Hyperion. It's not Rita. It's not Speed of Sound. It's not Kondaa. The coaster is not white. It's not Tehran. It's not Big One. It's not Shambhala. It's not at Powerland. It's not in Italy. Man. Wait, has someone asked if it's in... Actually, I can't say, because if I did, then it would give it away. It's not
in the
Spain.
UK?
Yeah, it's in the UK. There you go.
Okay.
So it's a UK steel coaster that is somewhat orange. It's not an Intamin. It is a B&M. Okay, so...
Oh, it's a B&M.
B&M steel coaster in the UK that's somewhat orange. It's not Nemesis. It is at Alton Towers. It like... The problem is, I think me saying somewhat orange is a little...
Okay. I think I know it now.
Yeah. It's not Nemesis. It's not Nemesis Inferno. I think the somewhat orange thing might be throwing people off. I'll explain it in a little bit. Mr. Cola Roaster got it right. It is Oblivion at Alton Towers, very closely followed by Coaster Keychain, Zero G Coasters. So the track itself is not orange, but the trains are. They have a slight orange pattern to them. The logos on the ground and stuff are orange. I think the logo's orange. So in a way it is, and that's why I said kind of.
I actually thought it was Nemesis because the rust kind of looked orange, but
I think for colors I'll go based off track now because that might have been confusing. Yeah, I'll go off track. Just because that was kind of a weird one for the future. Do you have yours yet?
Yes, I do. Go ahead with your guests.
Alrighty.
Your guesses.
Yeah. Make sure to put your guesses there in the chat, and we're going to try to guess Jace's. Actually, alright, let's throw one out there. Let's do a complete random guess before any hints. Is it Untamed at Wallaby Holland?
It is not.
If I got it, I would have died. I would have died. I would have been like, oh my god.
Okay, let's see. So it is not in America, it is not in Asia, and it is not Gemini at Cedar Point. It is not a steel coaster. It is in Europe. It is not in Africa. It is not launched, but yes, it is a wooden coaster. So far we got a European wooden coaster. It is not themed to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it is not Lil Phantom.
Wait, is it Tornare de Zeus? Also total wild guess.
Good guess, but no.
Okay, I'm not gonna do any more. You guys figure it out from here.
Yes, it's in Europe, but it is not in the UK, so it's not Wickerman. It is not Woden, although that's a good guess. Let's see. It is not Stampede, also a good guess. Let's see. Colossus and not Coaster Express. It is not in Germany. It is not Jorse and the Drac, and it is not Bandit or Colossus or Wildfire.
Dang, we're going down the list here.
It is not defunct. And it is
So
not
it still
Balder.
operates. Okay.
Yeah, it still operates. Let's see. So far, we got European wooden coaster.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's it. It is not an Intamin prefab.
Oh wait, currently existing European wooden coaster. That's what we have so far.
Oh yeah, currently existing. It is not Falcon, although that was a good guess. It's not gravity. It's not a gravity group, and it's not Timber.
And so it's not Heidi either.
It
I
is
guess someone
not a
guessed that.
GCI. So not a GCI or a gravity group. It's not Thunder Coaster. Should I give a clue?
Nah, no. I'm sure it's one that
I'll get it eventually.
Yeah.
It is. Wait, let me check. It is not a PTC. Oh, actually, the manufacturer is pretty surprising.
Oh, I know what it is. I know what it is. Yeah, I'm
is
like
not-
I'm 90% sure I know what it is.
It is not Troy, and it is not in Sweden, so it's not Twister. And it is not Scenic Railway. It is not Loop Guru, and it is not Cucullin.
I think it's Cuckoo Lane, but I don't know how to pronounce it correct. At least we're not saying chinchilla or whatever. But yeah.
Caracho Nacho. I'd say it's not too obvious.
I know what it is. I'm just waiting until someone gets it. I
It
know
is
what it is.
not at Tivoli, and it is not Grand National.
I'll say this, it's not, if it's the one I think it is, it's not like the most obvious thing in the world, so.
What country it is in?
You can't
I cannot
that's
answer
not
that.
a yes. It has to be a yes or no question.
So like you could just list some like. You could also go by regions in Europe. That might help.
Oh, someone was
Narrow it
asking
down.
if it was Grand National or Big Dipper.
It is not either of those, and it is not at Blackpool Pleasure Beach. Does it have minimal restraints? Let's see.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Let me just make sure. Assuming if I don't, if I'm
Assuming
thinking
it
of the
is
wrong
the
one.
one.
Yeah.
These images don't give you, or there's not a lot of images of the. Oh, wait. I can't really see the restraint very well.
It's not minimal. I can see it enough to tell you it's not minimal. It's
Assuming
actually,
it's the one.
okay.
Okay.
Some more are coming in.
Is it? It's not Wichbanen. Good guess. Yes, it is in mainland Europe. It is not. What is it? Nickelodeon Slimes? No, it's probably. I'll just say Slime Streak. It is.
Yeah, it's not that thing. But
It's not Slime Streak, and it is not Megaphobia. Not Colossus, and not El Toro at Fries Park. And it is not Colossus. I'd suggest first establishing the country.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Although, would it? I mean, it would be helpful-ish.
Helpful-ish.
I wouldn't go by manufacturer because
It is not a Vekoma. Yeah, it's not a Vekoma, Woody. And it is not in Poland, not in Germany, not in Italy.
Wait,
not in
it's not
Finland.
in Germany?
It is in France.
Oh, so it's not the one I was thinking of.
Yes, it is in France.
All right. Now I'm actually lost because I was I'll just say what I thought it was because it's not. We know it's not. I thought it was Mammut or because it's like it was made by a weird manufacturer and it was like
it is made by a weird manufacturer though. It is not Zeus, although that's a good guess, or Tonnerre de Zeus. It is
that was
not
my shot in the dark.
It is not. It is not a Gravy group.
The heck? I'm trying to think. I mean, it's probably obvious, and I'm just like blinking out on it.
It is not an SNS. I'd suggest not going by manufacturer, if that helps. First drop got it.
Oh my god!
It is
course.
Anaconda at Walligator Grand Est, or just Walligator Park. Same park that has Monster, a clone of Raptor at Cedar Point. But I heard Anaconda is absolutely terrible. When someone said it's like defunct, I'm like, I think we all wish it would be defunct.
We had it on our. I think you were on with me. I think it was. I don't know if it was our first episode or a second one, but we had that coaster on our 1 out of 10, which is funny. All right, we'll do 2 more, and I'll just say I'm a little surprised by the one I got, but I have my coaster. Make sure to do your guesses in the chat.
Okay. First of all, is it an Asia one?
It is not an Asian coaster.
No.
Dang it. I actually tried to get something from Asia. I don't think we've gotten anything from there. So if you can, and it's not that difficult, try to do that. Okay, some more stuff's coming in. More questions. Oh, wait. Right, I'm doing it. Yeah. Okay. It is not in Europe. It is in America. It is not a GCI, but yeah, it's in the US. Not in Asia, like it said. Not steel coaster. So another American wooden coaster. Already have had like.
So it's not a hybrid coaster.
Yeah, no. I mean, I would kind of consider that steel, but whatever. Doesn't matter for this anyways. Let's see. It is. Let's see. Like I said, it doesn't have any inversions. It is on the West Coast. So West Coast wooden coaster. Was there anything else? I think just West Coast wooden coaster. Yeah, because it's in West Coast of the US, so yeah, West Coast wooden coaster. It's not at a Six Flags, good guess. It's not Gold Striker. Is it popular? I wouldn't say so.
Has it been built, or has it been built before 1950?
No, it was built after 1950. Okay. So, no, I guess. It's not Thunderhead, it's not Ravine Flyer, it's not Apocalypse, it's not Roar. It's not Gold Striker. It's not Coaster at Peony. It's not Giant Dipper. That would have been. I would have been so happy if I got that.
Did this coaster get renovated in 2016?
Oh well, it's not Ghost Rider. It's not Big Dipper. It's not a CCI. It's not a GCI. It's not Giant Dipper. It was built before 2000. It is not defunct. It still exists. I was gonna say add on something there, but I'll just hold it off. But yes, it was built before 2000, and it is a West Coast wooden coaster in the U.S. Because I did see that someone guessed coaster. It is in the U.S. It is not classic coaster. No, I mentioned it's not defunct. It still exists.
Oh right, okay.
It still exists. It's not a PTC. It's not Thunderhawk.
Is it made by SNS?
It's not made by SNS.
Oh shucks.
It's not classic coaster. I'm telling you guys, it's not classic coaster. And it's not Thunderhawk Ride of Prey. It's neither of those.
Good guesses though.
I mean, I actually find it funny that no one's gotten it, but like it's understandable. It is in California. So it is a wooden coaster in California that was built before 2000. And Zero G Coasters is the first one I saw on my screen to get it correct. It is Grizzly, which when someone said, is it defunct? I said it's not. And I almost was going to say to the dismay of many. But yeah, Zero G Coasters, at least on my screen, got it first with Grizzly, followed by First Drop and Coaster Keychain.
I totally forgot about that one. I'll be honest. You're right when you said it wasn't popular.
We suppressed the memory of that coaster. It literally is the most like forgettable, at least wooden coaster, if not coaster in general, I've ridden. Like it's only memorable because I actually like tried to remember it because I'm like, I've heard this coaster's forgettable, and I'm like, it literally does nothing. It just kind of shakes a little bit, and
Are we
that's
gonna see
it.
another grizzly rant on this stream?
Yeah, no, we're not. That's the extent of it. It's not in part of the next thing we're gonna do in a little bit, but so we're not. So that'll be that. Actually, you have, I think, one last. Yeah, yours thing will be the last one for to guess the coaster. Then we'll move on. So
I don't have a coaster yet. I have this one coaster, but I feel like it's gonna. Should we give UK viewers a present and have a UK coaster that not many people know of?
I wouldn't go with a UK coaster now because that really limits it. An Asian coaster, it can be anywhere. I would go with an Asian coaster.
Well, I just got an Asian coaster, so go ahead.
All right. Well, we know it's in Asia, so
Oh, I'm
Don't need to
sorry,
ask
Mr.
that.
Kohler Roaster.
the problem is that like it narrows it down so much.
Stamford Bridge, yes, my original coaster was Antelope.
Hey, extra shout out right there. Sort of bonus.
Yeah,
is it in
that
China?
deserves a shout out.
Someone was asking, is it in China?
No, no, it is not in China.
Okay. So it's not time travel. It's
I
not
don't-
Dynaconda. It's not wood coaster.
I don't think it's in China. Well, it depends on how you would consider this place.
Interesting. Okay.
Let's see. Not Wood Coaster, not Wild Mouse, not Steel Dolphin, not Tron, not Sunic. It is not a Sunic Land Park. Let's see. It is not Phaethon. It is not Acrobat. It's not Aeginica. It is not Pyrenees. It is not Diovola. Did you mean Dynaconda or that is an actual ride?
No, he's referring to the or I assume, yeah, Diavolo.
Diavolo.
Yeah, the
The
Batman
water
Club.
cannon one. It's not Hair Razor, and it is not in China. It's not Hang Time. Yes, it's a steel coaster. So we got an Asian steel coaster so far. Not in Hong Kong. Although when I said it's debatable whether you consider it, that was a good guess. But it's
I think I know.
it's
what
not
it
in Hong
is.
Kong, though.
At least I think I might. I don't want to.
It's not too well known. It is not in Japan.
Well, this one I feel like is really well known, but I'll throw it out. Actually, do I want to do it because I don't want to ruin it for everybody? So I don't want to say it yet. I'll just say if it is the one I think it is, I'll mention it at the end. I think we'll go with that. You'll have to trust me.
Does
on
yours
it,
mention? Is that what your coaster is like?
Yeah.
Okay, then that is not it.
Cool.
Were you gonna guess Gravity Max?
Yeah.
It's
All
not
right.
Gravity Max. So okay, it is not Takabisha, not Corkscrew, not Ultra Twister. It's not Gravity Max. Good guess. It is not Battlestar Galactica, not Insane Speed, not Hair Razor, not Gravity Max.
And someone asked if it was in Japan.
It is not in Japan.
Someone asked if it's in Macau, which is actually I think part of China, if I'm correct. But
it is not.
Yeah, it's near Hong Kong, I believe. I think I've looked at it on a map.
Although, wait, let me check Gravity Max's location. Oh, it's in a pretty similar location as Gravity Max. So it's not in Singapore. It is not in Vietnam. So it's not Nefiskesen. It's not Sky Car, and it is not in Singapore. Yes, it is in Taiwan. So
There's
same
like
country.
a few. There's there's like I think one or two rides I can think of that it could be, but there might even be more. So
it is not Sky Car. Good guess though. So far we got a Taiwanese steel coaster.
dang, we
That is
really
not
narrowed
Gravity
it.
Max.
Someone-
Mr. Kohler Roaster got it right. It is Big Air,
Oh
the
my God.
Vekoma Big Air, whatever that thing is. I did do it for 1 out of 10. But
Oh, on
'But yeah.
Discord, yeah.
It is Big Air. So congratulations, Mr. Kohler Roaster, for getting. I think it is the last one, right? The last
Yeah,
guest
that's
to
the
coast
last
for
one
the
we're gonna
stream.
do. Yeah.
Rip. But yeah, so good job to everyone who participated. Uh, I think I stole your line. You can
No, you're
continue.
good. That was good delivery, though. I like it. I like it. All right, so I guess now to go into the next thing, we're going to be doing one of those segments I was talking about, one of the things that we hadn't done before.
Ooh.
And this is going to be a countdown, which, I'll handle, like, I think the screen sharing for both the slides, so you don't have to worry about it too much, Jace, in terms of, like, me putting it on screen.
Okay.
But, basically, we're going to be counting down our top 10 most anticipated coasters in North America. And also, I saw Coaster Keychain was leaving.
Thanks
I
for
guess,
watching.
thank you for watching, and it was nice seeing you again. But back to the countdown. Basically, we'll be going through our top 10 most anticipated coasters in North America. You can put down your list in the chat or just some coasters you really want to ride. These are coasters we haven't ridden. And before I get into this, I'll just mention that the coasters that I have ridden, just for reference, is basically, I'll just say all of California, just to make things easy and easier, at least on that end. And
I've been to a few parks in California, and that's about it.
And then as for, and then I'll also Hershey Park and Six Flags Mexico and Cedar Point for me. So those are kind of those. So I guess we'll start it off with your number 10 here, which and you made your own slideshow. So, but yeah, your number 10.
Okay, so my number 10 most anticipated is the RMC Raptors. They're a very new concept, but I do really like, or I'm very intrigued by just the different ride experience in general. You have a low center of gravity, you have single person rows, and the layout itself looks very intense. Like, I guess you could apply that to all RMC Raptors, but especially the prototypes are really insane, especially with their pacing. And yeah, I guess that's why I have RMC Raptors at my number 10.
Nice. And then so for me, I guess I'm gonna have to see how bouncing around is gonna be, because I didn't realize that could be a little bit complicated. But my number 10 is actually going to be Phantom's Revenge at Kennywood. Basically, I'm a big fan of Morgan coasters. Well, even though I've only ridden one, but you know. But basically, I got on the wrong one. Dang it. But anyways, Phantom's Revenge is my number 10. The layout is just super unique for really a hypercoaster in general. The ending airtime looks really insane, and like I said, it has a unique layout. I really like Morgan coasters, so that's the one we're gonna go with. I think we'll just kind of do it this way. I guess maybe the slideshow, I guess I might have to ditch it because I realize it's kind of more difficult than I had anticipated. So we'll kind of go that way. But yeah, my number 10 is Phantom's Revenge. So we'll go to your number 9 then.
By the way, Phantom's Revenge was an honorable mention for my list. And basically for the same reasons as Carrick described. So my number 9, wait, let me pull up my presentation.
Your list. Yeah.
Okay, my number 9 is Fury 325 at Carowinds.
Nice.
Let's see. The drop looks like one of the best drops in the world. Just the amount of time you are free falling with like with airtime, and the first half looks absolutely incredible. I really like the first few turns and the hive dive. Those look absolutely incredible, traveling at very high speeds, especially if you're sitting in the front row. And of course, the second half has a few airtime moments, which look pretty decent. And so overall, I think Fury 325 is a very well-rounded coaster. And that's why it deserves, or that's why I chose as my number 9.
Nice. Fury 325 was didn't make my list actually, but it was an honorable mention for like same reasons as you gave.
Interesting.
Really, especially would be looking forward to the night rides on it, just because I love night rides, so that's my kind of thing. My number 9 most anticipated coaster in all of North America is actually Coaster at P&E Playland. I love classic coasters. This thing has ridiculous airtime, and I felt like, all right, I'll just throw in one Canadian coaster because why not?
Shout
Um,
out to you, Canadian viewers.
so yeah, this is my one coaster I have from Canada. But yeah, this coaster, the ejector airtime looks absolutely insane. And it looks like really just a great classic coaster. So can't really go wrong there. So yeah, coaster at Peony Playland is my number 9. So what is your number 8?
So my number 8 is Lightning Rod at Dollywood. So this coaster had a pretty rocky history, no pun intended. But I do really like, first of all, the ride's terrain interaction is absolutely insane. How it there's this valley, and it goes on both sides of the valley. Absolutely incredible. The quad down looks very fun, like the amount of airtime moments. And I like how the airtime moments look to be increasingly more intense as the ride goes on. And also some of the more unique elements like the wave turn, the outer banked wave turn, the twist and shout. I think that's what they call it. Absolutely insane. And especially since they got the part hybrid track, hopefully the ride will be more reliable as well because of it. And like how Stamford Bridge mentioned, I forgot to say this, best pacing ever. No doubt.
It looks so good.
The pacing is probably one of the biggest reasons why it's ranked so high. So yeah, that's my number 8.
Dang, I mean, for me, I feel like it's a little low, but no, it's fine. Like I mean, of course, I guess I've written, also more stuff that maybe would probably be higher for you. So, no, it's cool to see it though. But I guess if you couldn't tell, I will have it higher on my thing. I guess also before I get to this one, these are the coasters, not necessarily the ones I would think are the best, but if I could basically be teleported to any of these, this is the order of the priority, basically, if that makes sense.
That's sort of how it goes for me too.
Yeah. So then, with that being said, my number 8 is actually Boardwalk Bullet at Kima Boardwalk. Yeah, I know the last two have been a little whack, but this is a coaster. Ever since I've seen footage of the night rides and heard about the retracking, this is my most anticipated coaster in Texas, over Iron Rattler, and I've already done the Raptors and over New Texas Giant. The crossovers look absolutely insane. I think it might have the most crossovers of any coaster in the world. I think that was a claim they had. I'm not sure, but it looks insane. Just being in the structure for most of the ride, and especially, like I said, at night, the laterals look insane as well. And it looks like it has a few good airtime moments, but this ride looks absolutely phenomenal. And that's why it's on my list. So, yeah, that's my number 8. Your number 7?
So my number 7 is Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion.
Hey, that's my number 7, actually.
Really?
So
okay.
Both of ours. Nice.
So first drop looked incredible. First turn, honestly, kind of scared about it. Looks like I could maybe black out on it. But just overall, the ride looks absolutely crazy. And just overall, I think the amount of positives. It's a very different coaster, I think, from most coasters out there, just because it focuses more on the whip and the positives rather than elements or airtime or any of that. And yeah, it definitely has its fans. And so that could explain why it's a very good coaster.
It's at my number 7 as well. You mentioned a lot of good reasons. For me, it would be higher, but I really don't. It's one of those coasters, it's I don't know how much I'm going to like it, because I've heard some people are like, oh, number 1 in the world, and other people are like, it's good, but it's not that amazing. I do really like out of control ride experiences, though, and I think with just how intense this ride is, and just how fast you're going, I think this coaster, Intimidator 305, is going to give that experience. So for that reason, it also makes my number 7. Your number 6?
So my number 6 is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure in Jackson, New Jersey. This is a one of only a few Intamin prefabs in the world, and the reason why I put it there is because the airtime looks absolutely incredible. Sustained ejector, like who doesn't want that? Rolling Thunder looks like absolutely insane with the ejector. And I really like the polarizing, the very different first half and second half. Like the first half focuses on the airtime hills, while the second half focuses on those twists. And I think just overall, I think El Toro is one of the best wood coasters in the world.
My number 6, and I don't know if you set any rules for yours, but I decided to use new for 2021 coasters if they had tested, but that was kind of like, but only for me if they had tested. So that's kind of why my number 6 might be a little surprising, and that is Velocicoaster at Universal's Islands of Adventure is my number 6, which might be higher than some people would have expected. But basically, I mean, after hearing the first reviews and everything, this coaster, I mean, the layout looks absolutely incredible. The pacing looks really good as well, and of course the theming, the level of theming, we've probably never really seen this level of theming on a ride like this. Some people might say Tehran, but this coaster seems even more intense and more just has a better layout than Tehran, at least in my opinion, just based off what I've seen. So Velocicoaster, it just brings the whole package, and it's also, I think, a great coaster on its own. So because of that, I figured I had to put it on here. So and of course, like I said, night rides, so that's another thing. So yeah, that is my number 6. Your number 5? Oh wait, actually, or you can talk about Velocicoaster if you want to, but yeah.
I'll just say you're gonna see Velocicoaster again kind of soon. Okay, so my number 5 is X2 at Six Flags Magic Mountain. Of course, Carrick has ridden that,
Yes,
but I guess I don't have Egenica on here. I have X2 because it's more likely that I'm going to ride it than Egenica.
And
but
it's
of
North
course,
American list though, so yeah, that's
yeah, and it's North American, right? But yeah, so X2. I'm not sure about the smoothness, but it looks like one of the most intense and crazy coasters in the world. First drop, absolutely insane. You're facing down, and then you just do like a front flip out of nowhere, seems like. Raven turn, pretty good. Underrated moment, that hill where you like do a backflip. I kind of like that element. And then
That's
also
good.
I heard the second Raven turn is very intense. So yeah, that's why it is my number 5.
And it's a really, I mean, obviously I've ridden it, but you guys have probably heard me talk about it quite a bit. It's my number 2 coaster. Of course, I absolutely love it. So hopefully you get some good rides on it. And I guess just a tip I'll mention: try to ride in the inside seat for those who haven't ridden X2 yet.
I've heard that a lot.
Want to do that? Yeah, you probably would want to do that. My number 5 is El Toro at Six Flags Great Adventure. Yeah, I know you had it as your number 6, so pretty close there. Basically, I mean, the airtime, the first few hills and the first drop, that's really what draws me to the coaster. Of course, the second half, I do also find it interesting, like how it's like twisty, like towards the end. So that's definitely something also that it kind of brings some sort of variety to the ride. So, and also I haven't ridden Intamin prefab, so it's pretty high for me because it's unlike really anything I've done up to this point, except maybe Skyrush, just because both are like ejector machines, but they're still totally different. But El Toro, it's going to be pretty high for me just because I haven't done a prefab, and the airtime looks absolutely incredible, and the second half looks underrated. So, yeah. What is your number 4?
Okay, so my number 4 is The Voyage at Holiday World. Okay, I'll be honest. This spot mostly comes from Hollywood Nights, but
Yeah.
but But still, first of all, this ride is freaking long. I love long rides, and while the airtime may not be the strongest, there's definitely plenty. And I just think, and also the terrain interaction is absolutely incredible, and plus how it interacts with other rides, especially Thunderbird. But really, just because of how long it is, that's why I put it on there. It's like it seems unrealistically long, but of course it's because of the terrain.
Absolutely. You'll be seeing Voyage in the future from me. So, yeah, also very much helped by Halloween Nights, basically. It wouldn't be as high as it is if it weren't. But my number 4 is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. So, yes, I've already ridden 5RMC, so I wasn't going to have a ton on here just because of that. But Iron Gwazi seems to be very different from the other RMCs I've done. Especially like the Steel Vengeance. It's a lot more fast-paced, and while it doesn't have as many airtime moments, they look quite a bit more insane, and the pacing of this ride is absolutely unbelievable. It looks absolutely insane just from the testing. And it's like pretty much like I said, absolutely relentless from beginning to end. And then that death roll, just because it looks like you might be able to get some airtime heading into it, I'm very curious to see how that element is. Along with, of course, the rest of the ride, but that might be my most anticipated element just because of how crazy it looks. So, Iron Gwazi is my number 4.
Okay. So here it is. My number 3 is Velocicoaster, Islands of Adventure.
Yes.
I know it's pretty high, but basically it's really just the well-roundedness of that ride. You don't really see a lot of coasters out there that combine a insane layout with 2 launches, some of the most intense launches out there because it's Intamin. A pretty good first half with maybe even some hang time in those inversions. Top hat with pretty insane drop, stall, wave turn, outer bank, and a few airtime moments in the Mosasaurus roll, as they call it now. But yeah, I think it's one of the best layouts in the world on its own, but it's universal. So they have some of the best theming in the world. I'm not going to spoil the queue line, but I'll just say it really impressed me. And even outside of the queue line, the theming and scenery they put for the ride looks beautiful. And of course, the trains are, they're my favorite trains ever made for a roller coaster. So yeah, that's why I chose Velocicoaster for number 3.
All right, nice. I mean, yeah, I agree with you completely there. Pretty much with what you said with Velocicoaster. Can't go wrong with that ride. My actually, wait. Yeah, I guess. Wait, did we flip the order? Oh, wait, no. Okay, never mind. Sorry. My number 3 is Lightning Rod at Dollywood. So, it used to be my most anticipated coaster in the entire world, so, that changed. Pretty much the pacing of this coaster, as you mentioned, and as Stamford Bridge mentioned, it's like absolutely insane. Probably the best paced coaster maybe out there, maybe outside of probably like the Raptors, but like it just looks absolutely insane, and every element seems to deliver. It's just the only thing that kind of holds it back a little bit from before is I know they've said things that contradict this, but the launch seems to not be as good as it used to be. And just in general, I don't know. It being a launched wooden coaster kind of, I know it doesn't really, I mean, a wooden coaster feels different from like a hybrid / steel coaster. So that kind of takes away, I think, a little bit of intrigue from me, but it still looks absolutely amazing. And it might also just be like it's gone down because there's some other coasters that look really good. I mean, Lightning Rod looks absolutely phenomenal. And I can't wait to get out there when I can. So yeah, that is my number 3. Jace, your number 2?
There's definitely a lot of hype around Lightning Rod. But for me, my number 2 is Iron Gwazi at Busch Gardens, Tampa. Let's see. what was not mentioned? I think what makes it high for me too is the park it's at. Busch Gardens Tampa was already one of the most well-rounded and best parks in America, and now that they have Iron Gwazi, they could possibly have like one of the best coaster lineups ever, because of it. So that could be one thing, and also pacing on Iron Gwazi is great too.
Yeah.
And also the first drop on Iron Gwazi is probably going to be one of the best of any RMC. It looks to not curl out too soon, like what it kind of looks like on Zadra. And yeah, I guess overall, it definitely doesn't have the quantity of Steel Vengeance, but it definitely has quality though.
Quality, yeah.
I guess that's what they were trying to focus on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's my number 2.
Alrighty, and my number 2 is Voyage at Holiday World, Hollywood Nights Voyage, basically. I mean, riding it at night, of course, once again, night rides, but beyond that, I mean, as you said, it's like an insanely long ride, and even though the airtime might not be the strongest, the amount you get just seems absolutely insane. And even outside of the airtime, it seems to have pretty good. It seems to have some really good laterals in some spots. And the layout is just super varied. I like how at the beginning it's like these really tall hills, and then in the second half it's more like close to the ground, going underground even when you go through the tunnels and stuff. So Voyage, for that reason, is my number 2. So what is your number 1? I wonder.
Okay, well, my number 1 most anticipated coaster is definitely Lil Phantom at Kennywood. Okay, my actual number 1 is kind of obvious. It's Steel Vengeance at Cedar Point. Let's see. Most airtime in the world. I like airtime. Outer Banks turn looks absolutely incredible. Inversions. It's can't really say much about the inversions because there's like so much more. Second half. I think what really makes Steel Vengeance stand out to me is what some people say about how the ride disorients you, especially in the parts where it's like in the structure.
Yeah.
That I never heard any other person say about a coaster or about any other coaster. So
I don't know about that, but
oh yeah, there's a few definitely, but
well, I guess within
yeah.
the structure, actually, yeah, that's probably true, I guess, at least for what I've done. But
Yes.
no, yeah.
Well, I guess you could consider the 40 coasters, but
Yeah.
but for wooden/hybrid coasters, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what intrigues me most about it. Just the airtime and the parts where it's inside the structure, and the Outer Bank turn, of course. There's just so much to like about Steel Vengeance, I think. I don't know about the restraints, but I heard it's not too bad. So
It's not really that bad.
So I guess we'll see about that. Yeah, that's my number 1. I'm actually interested to see your number 1.
People are gonna kill me. Keep in mind, guys, I live in California. I'm not a Virginia fanboy. But you know, I think you guys know if you watch my predictions, my 2021 video. My number 1's Pantheon at Busch Gardens, Williamsburg. This outside of Edgenica, and especially after seeing like Kondaa run, this is my most anticipated coaster outside of like the Edgenica and Dynaconda. I mean, it's been running so insane, and pretty much every element after the final launch, I guess you could say, it like looks like some of the best of their kind on any coaster, if that makes sense. Like the drop. That thing's going to be so insane because it's already beyond vertical, but you're taking it with speed going into it, so it's going to be ridiculous. The tight like turn on the ground that looks a little bit like the one on I-305 looks pretty intense. And the Outer Banked hill obviously also looks insane. The 0G stall. Also, because it's so long, even though the coaster is already going so fast, it's gonna probably also be so good. The ride, like after that final launch, looks like unbelievable. So it's my number 1 for that reason. Don't kill me, guys.
could see
people
why it's your
watching
number one.
afterwards.
Oh, after.
Yeah, because that might be unexpected that Pantheon is my number one. I mean, I feel like, I mean, Pantheon, it's debatable if it's even the top of 2021, and then so having it as your number one. But it looks insane. So it's just, yeah. And so that's pretty much the countdown. If for you guys in the chat, let us know if you like that, if you want to see more of it. It could be a possible interchangeable segment with some of the other segments. And those watching later, tell me in the comments how you enjoyed that. So yeah, I'll try to do a better job next time of doing slideshows. If I want to incorporate them, I may or may not. We'll see what happens. But yeah, with that being said, we'll move into our final segment before the wrap up of this stream, which will be the first ever live tier list, which will basically be done. Which basically what we're gonna do for this is the two of us, we're gonna be doing a tier list based off of Southern California coasters. And some of these, both of us have ridden. Some of us only I have ridden, or he has ridden more recently, which will be kind of that. And then there's some that we haven't ridden, and there might be some arguments. So you guys in the chat can like maybe give your thoughts on what tiers the coasters could be in. So that's kind of the thought process there. So we're gonna be starting with that, and I'll be getting it up here in a second. And then Jace, I'll be the one like basically handling the thing, basically, if that makes sense. All right, there we go. There it is, the beautiful tier list. And so we're gonna start off right away with Superman, Escape from Krypton, which I know you haven't ridden, but I have. Mm-hmm. You can still give your thoughts even anyways. That'll just be this kind of segment. But to be honest, I would put this in C if, like, this would be a straight up C tier ride if I hadn't heard that it had gotten better after, like, it had closed because they replaced the LSMs and whatnot. So it's pretty interesting. I could almost put it in B, but just based off my experience, I'm going to put it in C, even though that might be controversial just because of how record-breaking it is. I've never been that big of a fan of this ride. The launch is pretty gradual. It is fast, but it's pretty gradual. And the drop, you don't really get anything out of it. But the moment of weightlessness at the top is really good. But I don't know. I can't put it above C. Any thoughts here?
I would put it in B at least, but that could just be because I haven't ridden it and I'm just judging it based on like what it is as a ride.
You know what? I think we'll bump it up to B just because of if it really has gotten better or quite a bit better, then I think B is well deserved.
Okay.
The next coaster we have is Montezuma's Revenge. I'll have you go first for this one.
Ooh, oh, this is a hard one. I think I'm gonna put Montezuma's Revenge also in B tier.
That's what I was thinking.
Okay, because I think it's definitely not too talked about. The loop is intense and the spikes give a good sense of weightlessness. But kind of like Superman, it's like not too long of a ride and it's a shuttle coaster, of course. I wouldn't see it be any higher than B tier, but it definitely is good though.
Yeah, I know it is a classic, and it is. Is it the last of its kind in terms of the launch it uses? Because I know there's other shuttle loops, but I don't know if there's other ones. But it is a classic. It is a good ride. Even though we're not gonna worry about it too much. If it were up to me, I would put it in front of Superman. But yeah, it still looks really good. The next coaster we have is one that neither of us have ridden, and this is Giant Dipper at Belmont Park in San Diego. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard the best things about it, about how it runs. This is basically, I'm kind of between like a B and C tier. It has a slightly different layout from the other Giant Dipper, from what I understand, but I've heard it runs quite a bit worse. So, what were you thinking for this one?
I was thinking C tier. I don't think it's... it still looks pretty fun, but I wouldn't say it's quite on the level of Superman and Montezuma's Revenge, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's one I would need. It's one I might ride it, end up loving it, but I don't know. It's really hard to say because I've heard pretty polarizing things about this coaster. The next one we have is yeah, that I don't
That
think there
doesn't need an
needs to,
explanation.
it's Coast Rider. There it goes. Next we have Twisted Colossus. Um, I'll just. I think this one's also.
Yep,
I would say it's S. Really
I
good
would put it
ride.
in
One
S
of the
too.
best in Southern California and California in general and the world. Like it's up there. Like in terms of like top. I don't know, but it's up there. But really good ride. Very unique for an RMC, having a dueling aspect. And the airtime is amazing, along with Top Gun stall and being able to duel. Like I said, it's pretty fun when it happens. Even if it isn't, it's still an amazing ride. Um, so yeah, S tier, and you don't have any arguments against it.
Nope, totally agree.
All right. Next we have Riddler's Revenge. Man, do I have? I feel bad because I'm getting the ones that like you haven't done up to this point, but
Nah, it's okay.
all right. This one like it I enjoy it more than Montezuma's and Superman, but can I put it in A tier? It depends on
Yeah,
what is up there. I'm gonna stick it in there for now, but it'll kind of depend. I think I think it is A tier, but I'll stick it in there for now. I really like it. I know stand-up coasters aren't everyone's thing, but I think the layout's really good. It's very intense. Um, it has one nice airtime moment also, which is nice, but it's very intense, and I'm a big fan of it.
literal standing airtime. Okay.
Yeah. Next we have Incredicoaster, which have you ridden it as Incredicoaster or only
Yes,
Screamin'?
I
Okay, you have.
have
So
written it
both of us
as
have.
Incredicoaster.
So I'll let you go first for this one then.
I would put it in. Ooh, I think I would put it in B tier at the most. Maybe even C tier if you want to put it there, Kara.
I'm between B and C on this.
Between B and C, yeah. Um, I'd say okay. First of all, the layout's fun. Of
Yeah,
course,
it
it's
is.
nothing too special. Um, but see, when they changed it to Incredicoaster, first of all, they ruined the beloved soundtrack.
Yeah.
I didn't like that. And also, they replaced the loop, but now the loop, when you sit anywhere but the front row, it has a rattle. That I think gave me. I think that was the reason why I got a headache that day. So
Okay.
yeah, I may be putting it to making it too extreme, but it's just the loop though. Besides that, the rest of the ride, I think it's smooth.
Man, yeah. I'm between B and C. It's a fun ride. I never got to do California Screamin', so I can't really compare it. It is more of a family coaster, but
Yeah.
considering it did give you a headache, I think that might automatically put it in C. I think we're gonna roll with that. It's a fun ride. And C, it doesn't even mean the coaster is bad. It's just, compared to the other ones, it's
C.
not maybe as high up there. So, yeah.
It just has a C grade. Okay.
Next, we have Revolution, and this is, I think, for me at least, definition of C tier. Yes, it's a classic. Yes, it was the first coaster to have a vertical loop. And yes, it does make nice terrain usage, and it is a fun ride, but it's pretty basic. And outside of the loop, the forces aren't really there. It's a nice, fun ride, but it's nothing more than that, in my opinion. You have any? What are your thoughts? I guess.
I would agree with that spot because Revolution definitely targets the same demographic as Incredicoaster.
Yeah.
So like trying to introduce people to like inversions, like maybe like younger people or people who are scared. So I wouldn't see. So yeah, I would say this would get the same ranking as Incredicoaster.
Next, we have Ninja, also at Magic Mountain. Um, this one, I think it's. I have had not so great rides on it, but I don't think I can put it in D because it's an arrow suspended, and even the worst rides I've had on it aren't the worst. But at the same time, compared to these, I don't know. It's tough. I'm between C and D on this. I think I'd put it in C for now. It is an arrow suspended coaster, so it's unique in that way. Because there's not that many left, and it is a fun ride. When it runs, well, I don't know why. I've had some rides where I've gotten some head banging a little bit because it does have the over the shoulder. But I don't know. It's hard to say. I'll just stick it in C tier. What do you think?
I would agree with C tier because it is an aero suspended coaster, and it looks like one of the better ones, at least when you compare it to like Iron Dragon. But
I like Iron Dragon better. But
oh,
that's like one of my unpopular opinions. But yeah.
okay,
No, it's still fine. I understand. Yeah. Layout wise, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I guess just because it's a suspended coaster, that's probably why I would put in C tier.
I will say, compared to these two, though, I would say I definitely enjoy uh, Incredicoaster and Revolution quite a bit more than Ninja. But
It's a low C.
yeah. Now we have West Coaster. I haven't ridden this. I don't believe you have ridden this.
I
And
have
it's
not.
very basic. I'm going to put it in D tier. I know it's iconic and everything, but like, what does it do?
No objections. I heard it got like a retheme, like according to a Coaster Dash video. But
It got repainted, and I think it kind of got. They added some trims, I think, to it as well, which isn't great.
theme, I guess theming is not really theming.
Next coaster we have is Pony Express. Because you've ridden this, I'll let you go first.
Ooh. Okay, I'm also gonna put Pony Express in D tier because, or I would put it there because the restraints kind of make it difficult for you to breathe, and the layout is very short, albeit fun, but it's short though. And you don't really notice the restraint until you arrive to the brake run. But you do sit on the brake run for quite a bit of time though. So
Because they always stack, yeah.
yeah, so that's why I would put it at D tier.
Yeah, it's pretty understandable. I would I was kind of on the fence between C and D, but considering the coasters we have here, I think it kind of fits in D better than anything else. Next we have Sierra Sidewinder, Airtime Thrills, one of his favorite coasters at Knott's. I will say I do enjoy it. I do enjoy it quite a bit, but at the same time, can I put it in B tier? Probably not, but it's definitely not D tier, at least in my opinion. Or oh, do you want to put it in? Or are you thinking B? What are you thinking?
I wouldn't object if you put in B tier, but I do have Incredicoaster ahead of Sierra Sidewinder, but
As do I, but it's close.
but we do have Montezuma's Revenge in B tier, and I actually put Sierra Sidewinder above
All right,
Montezuma's
let's do
Revenge.
it. We're putting it in B tier. Make Chris hopefully somewhat happy. I'm sure he wants it in A, but yeah, we'll go with B. I'm perfectly fine with that. I mean, comparing it to the other spinning coasters I've ridden, although I do really like Joker, between this and Joker, they're my two favorites, like easily. They're both
You're
really
welcome,
good
Chris.
rides. If he watches this later. Next, we have Apocalypse. This one's interesting because I have not ridden it since the retracking. So, and I've never been the biggest fan of this ride, to be honest. I would almost put it in C tier, which just because I don't know, I haven't had the greatest rides on it. I've never been that big of a fan of it, but just because of the retracking, I know some people would say it's A worthy. For me, I would put it in B, but what do you think?
It's hard to judge, especially since I haven't ridden many wind coasters. But since you have the experience of riding it before it got the retrack, I would probably say I would agree with you to put in B tier, although it's like a very high B.
Yeah, I mean, I would say I know I said I should step back a little bit. I still do like the ride. It's still fun. It's just I've never seen kind of like the hype it's been getting, but we'll figure it out. Yeah, I see someone wants it in A. Maybe when I ride it in the future, I'll bump it up. But for right now, it's a high B tier ride.
It will be the highest B we have.
Yeah, these aren't really in order, but for that emphasis, we'll just put it there. Next, we have Batman the Ride. This is another one that I feel like people would want to be in A tier, but I don't know. I'm not feeling it. This is actually my least favorite invert. I haven't ridden Batman in a while, but my rides on it also haven't been great. In terms of just, I guess, not getting headbanging. But although I probably now I feel like I'd like it better, but I would put it in B. What do you think?
I would put it in A because it's a Batman clone, and I heard Batman clones are pretty intense. I also heard it's one of the better Batman clones too. Of course, you have the experience, so obviously you can object. But yeah, I guess that would be why I would consider it in A tier. But
We'll
up
see
to
if
you.
anyone in chat has anything. I'm not seeing anything. I think the A was for Apocalypse, so
Yeah,
I'll put it stick it in B tier, higher B tier, but we'll put it in there for now. Next we have Matterhorn bobsleds. This is where I'm gonna need you on this because I haven't
you don't
ridden this
remember
since
too well.
2012. Yeah, so
Okay, so I would put it in D tier.
all
It's
right.
I would rather ride it than Coast Rider, of course, but I wouldn't consider it. It's definitely not the best, but transitions are pretty jerky. It can get a little shaky, but I do like the theming, and it's not that rough, and I like how you basically only have a seatbelt. So yeah, I would say D tier.
All right. Yeah, I actually, for whatever reason, I remember, but this was before I was a coaster enthusiast. Matterhorn was my favorite of all the coasters at Disneyland. I kid you not. So it's interesting, but hey, we're gonna do. I think that makes sense. I think if I wrote it now, I'd probably enjoy the other ones. And speaking of the other ones, we have Big Thunder Mountain Railroad, uh, which I'll let you also do. So, where are we thinking?
Oh, that's a hard one. It's like in between C and D. I would definitely
Ooh,
consider it better than Matterhorn, but I don't know.
are we gonna put it behind Ninja though?
Uh, yeah, I would say high D.
All right, okay, all right. I'll be writing it actually next week, hopefully. So if
Mhm.
that changes, we'll see. Stanford Bridge would put Matterhorn a lot higher. Yeah, it is a classic, and it was the first steel tubular track. And I also saw Aaron was in the chat, so hi there. Um, but back to this, it's just I don't know. I don't know that I could um, put it super high. The next coaster we have is Hang Time.
A. D.
Okay, we agree. Okay, we
I'm just
actually
kidding.
agree. Oh wait, you wanted an S or
No,
what?
no, no, just A. I
Okay,
wouldn't consider it S tier.
I wasn't gonna. A is pretty much perfect. For me as well. It it is one of the better coasters in Southern California, in my opinion, and it is unique and it is a great ride. But I feel like S is kind of reserved for
The
like
elite ones.
absolute top of the top like elite coasters for the area, and I don't know that Hang Time is that, but it's a very good ride. You can talk about it if you want to add anything to that.
I do think Hang Time is pretty underrated, but at the same time, I wouldn't consider Hang Time an S tier coaster. That would
Yeah.
be my thoughts.
Next we have Ghost Rider. I think
S.
we yeah.
Yeah.
Don't worry about the order too much. I know I've been kind of doing some things, but the order doesn't matter that much. Yeah, it's S tier. I think we've even kind of sung its praises earlier, so I think we'll kind of move on pretty quickly. Next we have Gold Rusher.
Hmm.
I I am a fan of this mine train, but even I I think I still think C. I mean, because I think between it and Ninja, it's pretty close. In fact, I think I actually prefer Gold Rusher. But man, it's a mine train, and we're putting it above Big Thunder. Oh well, I guess that's just gonna have to be how it is. I mean, actually, what are your thoughts?
I would say D tier, but of course I haven't written it,
I
and
think we're gonna
or
do it. I think it makes more sense.
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it's all right. Oh, next we have Goliath. This one's gonna be fun. Let's see which one.
Ooh.
I'm being serious, okay? I'm not putting it in B. There's no way.
I would put it in B, but
We'll put it in C. We'll put it high C. Actually, I have it under in Credit Coaster.
mid C.
This is gonna make people so mad. If they didn't trim, even though the second half is intense, the fact that it's trimmed so hard, it makes it you just get off being so unsatisfied, and the first half doesn't really do anything for me. So I feel this is perfectly appropriate. So C is where it's at. I know you were saying B.
I
I'm
haven't
not.
written it, of course, so
Yeah.
I might have to do
Next
with
coaster we have is I need to look at this. Oh, it's Goofy's Sky School.
it. I would put
Um,
it in D.
yeah, I was thinking the same. I've had like F tier rides on it, but in general, I think it's definition of D tier. Next, we have Jaguar, which I think is also.
Uh,
What are you thinking?
between D and F.
Oh man.
Okay, honestly, I was kind of underwhelmed with Jaguar, but I know you kind of like it, so
I'm a fan. It's kind of like a little bit of a bumpy monorail. I kind of like it.
I would say so. I guess D tier,
Well, lowish D tier.
low
I
D.
guess. Next, we have Space Mountain.
C.
Alrighty. Yeah, I think that these coasters. I mean, I feel like I'm gonna be between B and C after I ride them, but we'll see what happens. But yeah,
If you
we'll go
ride it
C.
in the second car, it's actually pretty intense.
All right,
I'll
I'll
say
have to
that.
keep that. Well, actually, I think they do a
And smooth.
seating.
Yeah, there is assigned seating, which is why like my most recent ride, I think it was in the first car, so it was I remember it wasn't as intense as my third ride, but the third ride I remember was very intense or surprisingly intense.
Nice. Alrighty, so the next coaster we have is a fan favorite of mine. I mean, I'm gonna do it.
Bonanza.
I'm gonna do it. Yes. It's really good. I'm not kidding. Like it is my favorite family coaster by far. What I would consider a family coaster anyways. And I actually it's so good. It's like so fun. It's kind of like how people describe Cheetah Hunt. It's just such a fun ride. So even though yes, it's not like intense, the launches aren't insanely forceful. It does have pretty good airtime, and it's just a really fun ride. So I'm gonna put an A tier. What were you thinking before I did that?
B.
Yeah, I'm not budging on that though. I mean, man, we'll see how
Bias
it
is
fills. We'll see how it fills out. Maybe adjust some things toward the end. Next, we're gonna do Revenge of the Mummy.
I wouldn't put that above Space Mountain, so C tier.
Yeah, this I guess looking at the coasters we have, although it's kind of interesting because some of these in C I have ranked above some ones in B, but just kind of I think C probably makes sense here.
Yeah, like
Fun
I have
ride, but
Incredicoaster ranked above both Montezuma's Revenge and Sierra Sidewinder. So
yeah, but it kind of got downgraded, so it kind of checks out. All right, Scream.
ooh, that honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, here we go. I'm not a fan of this coaster, and I don't feel bad for putting it in D tier. It's the worst B&M I've ridden, and honestly, I would have all these coasters up here above it, legitimately, and even some of these ones in here above it. So, yeah, it's D tier for me. The rattle is bad, and it's forceless.
By the
all I
way,
got.
Coaster Chow is, I think he's.
What? Uh-oh, you froze up.
Oh, I did?
Just for a second.
Oh, okay. Coaster Chow, I think, is still on this stream.
Nice. Alrighty. I figured this might, because like I said, because this stream, it seemed like a lot of people were busy. This might be just better for maybe people watching afterwards. And I know a lot of people do just based off the amount of views. So, yeah. And then, alright, I guess I'll try to pick up pace a little bit with these last few. Electric Eel. I love Skyrocket 2s, but of course it has the comfort collars. If it were a regular one, I would actually probably put it in A, but the comfort collars, I think, automatically. I mean, I haven't done a comfort collar coaster, but I think that drags it down to B. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I would say B for Electric Eel, and if Superman Ultimate Flight is on here, A for that one.
Yeah, but it's not because it's SoCal, so...
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Next, we have Full Throttle.
Yeah, I would say A too.
Yeah. If you thought otherwise, we could have talked about it, but it's a really fun ride. The first launch, and actually second launch, not second, the third one technically, I guess, because it goes backwards a little bit. But the
Yeah.
first and third launch are pretty powerful. The vertical loop is absolutely amazing. If it ended better, it would probably be like high A, but it doesn't. So it is what it is. Next, we have Silver Bullet. What are you thinking?
I would put it in A tier, but since we have Batman in B tier, I would also put it in B tier.
Yeah, I think B tier, I think is about right. So I'm not gonna argue there. Though I will say, as you mentioned, back row, it's a lot better, and at night also, it's actually pretty good. Um, but anyways, next coaster we have is Tatsu at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This one is, it's so hard because I want to put it in S, but is it like, I have it above all these coasters, but is it S worthy?
I would say it is S worthy. It's one of the best flying coasters out there.
That's true. I think, yeah, we're gonna put it in S. Probably lower tier S, but still S tier. So I agree with that. Next we have Viper at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This one's tough. I know some people would put it in B and even A, and I would have at one point probably even put it in like D to even F, but I think at this point, I'm cool with putting it in C. If you kind of you kind of have to lean out a bit, but if you lean out, it's actually a pretty good ride. So that's what I got to say for Viper. What were you thinking?
I was thinking B, but now that you put in C, I think, yeah, C is probably the better spot for it.
Yeah. Next, we have West Coast Racers, which neither of us have ridden. What are you thinking for this one?
I would say, ooh, I don't know. Either
This
B
one's
or
between
C.
a. Oh, you're between a B and a C. Okay. I was actually between an A and a B. Do we just say B?
Oh.
I think.
Yeah. Well, we both agree
We have
on B.
Sierra Sidewinder in B. I think we can
Okay,
put
yeah.
West Coast Racers in B. Yeah, we'll put West Coast Racers in B then. I haven't
Yeah.
done it, so it's hard to say. Next, we have X2.
S.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to get any. It's not going in B. I just have to do it because it's getting too
Okay.
big. All right.
I was like, wait a second.
I mean, actually, I guess it doesn't matter that much, but whatever. I'll just stick it in there because it might depend on. But yeah, X2, it's my favorite coaster in California, my second favorite coaster overall. So it's going to be an S, and it's very unique for the United States. So I feel like it kind of has to be there. Next, we have Accelerator. What were you thinking?
Oh, this is a hard one because I do prefer hang time over accelerator, but I do think accelerator could be an S tier ride.
I'm more thinking actually it's very close. Oh, kind of like Tatsu. I'm just dragging it up just for reference. Okay. I'm kind of between an S and an A as well, but I feel I'm leaning more towards A, but
Okay.
and I think
Yeah, I would agree
that
with
probably
A.
checks out because at that point then we would have more S tier than A tier, which probably isn't great. And then the last coaster we have is Technic Coaster at Legoland. Yeah, that's a D. It's just a wild mouse. I just decided to put a Legoland coaster because why not? So here's our tier list for you guys watching now and later. Tell us in the chat if you like this segment. And if you're in the comments watching this later, make sure to tell me as well if you liked it or not, so I can see if I will do it more in the future. I think I'll probably make these a little smaller, like the countdowns and the tier list, just like actually doing it, because I think they drag out a little bit. But that's the purpose of trying it now, so I can kind of see how it looks like. So
I
with
like
that being,
tier list.
yeah, I actually enjoyed
I
it
think
quite a
should
bit.
continue that.
But with that being said, this is going to bring us to the end of the stream. Not too many people, I guess, on here right now. But if you have any questions, let us know, and that'll wrap up the stream. Went a little over time, but not too bad. Not too bad, all things considered. So any
1
last
minute
questions
before
you have?
3 hours.
Yeah, I usually like 3 hours would be the max. And
Also, I think it might be me because your first stream with the guest was also with me, and that was like one of the only streams that went over 3 hours. So
it's because I'm doing new stuff. I'm sort of like treating this sort of like a guinea pig sort of thing. So that's probably why. But no, yeah, thank you for coming on again. It's been great having you on again.
my pleasure. Very
I'll
fun.
wait. I'll wait a few more, like about 30 more seconds for any questions because I still see there's like 4 or 5 people watching still. So, if you have any last questions, let us know in the chat. If not, that's gonna wrap up the stream. But yeah, it's been fun doing this. I did like doing the countdown and the tier list. Like I said, just kind of condensing it a bit probably is the way to go. Ooh.
Funniest.
Shout out to the suggestion I made for your was it special that you did? The memorable moments for your channel. I forget what it was it a yearly thing? Because didn't you do a video like talking about like memorable moments? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You suggested that for my 200 subscriber special.
Yeah.
And I did it.
Coaster Hour before I had like 300 subs, I think.
808 Coaster Life before
1K.
500.
Oh wow. Dang.
Yeah, that was some old times. Would I consider any of those moments funny that I was thinking? I'd say like the funniest theme park moments I've seen on video, not in real life.
Yeah. I mean, there was the one time where I was in line for Montezuma's Revenge, and someone had waited already like 30 minutes for a ride, and they're like, "Oh, it has a lap bar. I'm gonna leave."
Okay, that's pretty funny.
No, that one was pretty funny. Yeah, that one is always a funny one to remember. I'm trying to think of other ones. I know there's stuff. It's just like, thinking it in the moment, it's kind of more difficult.
Okay, I think I got one. Or I have 2 candidates.
All right, nice.
Okay, so the first one, so I was at Disney California Adventure. It was that same day that I was disappointed, but actually this was like more of the highlights from that day. It was my first and only ever ride on Goofy Sky School. Managed to miss that out in 2016 when I first visited. So in 2019, January 2nd, my was it 1-year anniversary on YouTube. I was at California Adventure, and okay, so for Goofy Sky School, I got a fast pass, got on, and I was surprised it didn't have lap bars. And so my friend Brianna was sitting left of me, and I guess she doesn't usually ride wild mice. Because you know how like wild mice are known to be like scary because it's like, oh, you feel like you're gonna fall off the seat, right?
That's kind of the purpose, but yeah.
So the funny thing is, every time it was a right, since she was sitting on the left side, every right turn, which is where she was like on the outward side, she like screams every time. And then like on the when it turns left, which is my side, she's like, oh, completely silent. And then and then when it turns right, and that just made our whole cart laughing. Even some strangers behind us. So
oh, that's awesome. That's why you go to that's why you would like, I think, going to parks with like non-coaster enthusiasts, although I've never been with a coaster enthusiast. I'd almost say it seems more fun just because of the reactions.
Yeah.
So it's really fun. I like it. I've done it. So yeah. And what's your other one?
Oh, wait, okay. I kind of forgot this. Oh, it's more of a sad one than a funny one, but oh yeah. So my second ride on Coast Rider, I was forced to go on it because my little brother Jesse wanted to ride it. Crap. Rip. So we got in the car. I managed to get a little bit of room to the point where it was comfortable. But then I decided to lift my hands up on the first drop. So we got to the first drop, I'm like, woo! And then right when we start curling out, click, restraint comes down, and I was like, ah. Yeah,
Oh my god.
that wasn't fun. Although kind of funny though.
That is funny. As soon as you mentioned Coast Rider, I'm like, oh god.
Just a click. I was like, no.
Man. Oh, that's brutal. Yeah, no, that's funny. Like I said, the Montezuma's Revenge one is the what I can remember. I mean, on Giant Dipper, I've won with the cross country teammates. Like, I've had some like hold on to me while we're riding it, but like, but that's like, but other than that, I'm trying to think. I'm sure I can think of stuff, just not right now in the moment. But yeah, I think that's the only question I've seen. So I think with that being said, we'll wrap up the stream. Off of Coast Rider, of course, because of course, but no, it's been fun having you on, and thank you all for watching either live or on replay if you do that. And with that being said, I'll see y'all next time here. Oh wait, actually wait, sorry. Do you have any last things you want to say?
Not really, except for the make sure to subscribe to Coaster Hour if you haven't already. It's very easy. The subscribe button is right there.
Right there. And make sure, oh yeah, I totally forgot. And make sure to check out 808CoasterLife. I have his link to his channel in the description and link to his Instagram so you can follow him there. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram and join the Discord if you haven't already. That is in the description. So with that being said, thank you all for watching, and I'll see y'all next time here on Coaster Hour.